What's up, y'all? We are live on a Friday night, and I don't know about you, but I'm ready to have some fun tonight. My watch page just popped on, so I'm running live on my end. How do I look? How do I sound? Fantastic. Great. So, there's a whole lot of Puff Daddy in the news. Excuse me. P.Diddy. Excuse me. Diddy. Excuse me. Duh. That's what the next incarnation of his name is just going to be. Duh. Did you hear about the news? What news? Duh. Was caught doing more sex trafficking. Duh is always doing stuff like that. Right? Because that's what cool people do. You just keep shortening your name, right? The shorter your name gets, the cooler you are. Right? That's why I went from Jacob to Jake, was so I could be cooler. And then next I'm just gonna be Jay. And then after that, I'm gonna be J, like just the beginning of the J sound is gonna be my name in the future. What am I talking about? I totally just made that up right now, and I don't even know why. Okay, Holden Smith coming in with a super chat. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that very much. Holden said he was out at a dinner and he was going to try and watch while eating. So there he is sending in a donation. Thanks, buddy. I appreciate that. All right. So, the Diddy news. I thought we would start with some Diddy stuff, and I'll give you my take on the whole thing, and we'll look at the news regarding him. And then just today I looked, and now his son is also being accused of sex trafficking, right? So like father, like son, apple doesn't fall far from the tree, all that jazz. Yeah, wow, what are the odds? So we're going to get into all that, and then I'm going to switch up, talk about the upcoming eclipse. I got some thoughts on that, and I'm going to do some demonstrations of what they say happens during an eclipse, which is hilarious that people actually believe what they say happens. And then I thought I'd finish up by showing you guys a clip of Owen Benjamin on Infowars kissing Alex Jones' ass. Just a smooching. Hey, thanks for having me on, Alex. Alex, man, it's great to be here, Alex. Folks, I'm going to have on Owen Benjamin tonight. He doesn't have anything else better to do than to kiss my ass for an entire hour. So that's what he's going to do. He's going to get down there and kiss my ass for an entire hour. Owen, are you there? Yes, believe it or not, I have the goods. What's funny is I called out Owen like, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago. I called out Owen and Zach Hubbard in the same video, same stream. And then like a week and a half later, he goes on Infowars and kisses Alex Jones' ass. It's like, thank you. Thank you for proving me right. Proving exactly what I said about you is true, and then giving me even more ammo so that I can show everybody that I totally wasn't wrong about you. All right. Sunflower here says, let's get it started. Let's get it started. Ha! Let's get it started in here. Let's get retarded. Let's get retarded and queer. Let's get retarded and drink a beer. Let's get retarded and shoot a steer. Oh, shit. I probably shouldn't say let's get retarded that many times, because then they'll say that that was like a violation or something. I'm just making up a funny song, YouTube, okay? I'm saying I want to get retarded, okay? Jeez. There, I think I covered my ass there. All right. Thank you, Sunflower. I appreciate that. Also, that reminds me of something that I forgot to do in the last stream. I forgot to do this. Was hell happened? Who are you? What is this? Just kidding. Or am I? All right. I haven't done that in a while, so I thought I needed to. Felt good. All right. People are like, Jake, this is why no one can take you serious, because you do these silly things. You know what? I do these silly things because I live in a really silly, crazy, evil world, and I got to do something to keep myself amused. All right. So that's one of the things I do to keep myself amused. Okay. And if I don't do it, then the tradition will die out, and that would be sad. So somebody's got to continue doing that, right? And I happen to think that my was ups are the best was ups in the world, and that nobody does as good of a was up as me. In fact, remember back when the was up thing was hip and trendy? No one did as good of a was up as I do, like the one I just did. So therefore, that means I, Jacob Gibson, am the number one best was upper in the world. Now, if you want to challenge me for being the best was upper, make a video of you doing a was up that's crazier and better than mine and more funny, and then you can become was up champion. Tag me in the video. I just created something. I don't know why. I suddenly just created a new form of content. I don't know if anyone's going to actually go do that. But if you do, it will be funny, and I'll show it on my channel. All right. Wow. See, when you don't have a script, shit just happens. Like, what in the hell was all that? I have a list of things I'm going to talk about, but it's not exactly a script. See, this is what my list of shit to talk about looks like, which I already told you. So, away we go, right? And away we go. All right, let's start with the Puff Daddy stuff. All right. All right. Puff Daddy news coming at you. So let's start by going back a little ways and hearing about some of these allegations. All right. This is stuff that allegedly happened. We don't know what really happened. And I'm going to get to that soon once we start listening to what they have to say. All right. Here we go.
Before he was scheduled to leave for a trip to the Bahamas. Overnight, heavily armed federal authorities staging coordinated coast-to-coast raids at properties belonging to music mogul Sean Diddy Combs. Homeland Security investigations teams seen descending on his multi-million-dollar home in Los Angeles, going room to room and hauling away boxes. Across the country, more investigators swarmed the rapper's property in a wealthy section of Miami, appearing to carry out a laptop. Multiple sources tell NBC News Combs was in Miami during the searches and had several phones seized before he was scheduled to leave for a trip to the Bahamas.
The speed at which it appears these raids were conducted suggests that agents were concerned that they needed to secure evidence quickly and prevent anyone from destroying evidence before they got there.
The raids, which lasted into the night, carried out on search warrants out of New York connected to an investigation into allegations of sex trafficking, according to a source familiar with the matter.
Allegations of sex trafficking. That last line I got to play one more time.
Source familiar with the matter.
According to the source familiar with the matter. Oh, okay. Allegations, accusations, according to the source familiar with the matter. Hey, remember when they supposedly raided Trump's house, put Trump in jail, and oh my God, that was going to be the end of him forever. Yeah, okay. This is the way you promote people in 2004 or 2024. Excuse me. In 2024, this is the way you get people to talk about you, right? Puff Daddy is old news. Nobody talks about P.Diddy, Puffy Daddy anymore, right? But they do now. You got to do something like this in order to get the news. In fact, this is fake news. And that's how they get you to talk about these people. It's promotion. So bad news, bad publicity, as they say, is good publicity. And we're in a day and age where you can't promote Puff Daddy by saying, hey, have you heard Puff Daddy's new music? It's really good. Yeah, that's not going to work. Instead, you got to be like, hey, did you hear Diddy was accused of sex trafficking? That's going to get everyone talking. That's some water cooler shit. That's going to create some clicks right there. You can't promote someone anymore by saying, oh, that's a good artist and a good producer, and they create good content. Nobody cares about that. But if you say, oh, and they've also been accused of sex trafficking. Oh, well, now I have something to think and say about that guy. See? Now, I know some of you guys still got your feet stuck in Normieville. There's some new subs who came along because of the football content. And you think that this world stage shenanigans with Puff Daddy is real. Like, Jake, are you saying Puff Daddy never did any of these things and he's a totally wonderful guy? No, I'm not saying Puff Daddy's a wonderful dude who never did these things. What I'm saying is he's an actor on the stage playing his part. Like if he was in a movie where he was a serial killer, let's say Puff Daddy was in a movie where he had to pretend to be a serial killer. Well, in this movie, the made-for-TV movie, he's pretending to be accused of these crimes, even though he knows nothing's going to happen to him. All right. Curtis says, yo, Jake, Diddy or Diddy not? What I'm saying is we don't know what these stars really do behind the scenes. And what I suggest is they use these celebrities not only to get attention with these allegations, but they stick a celebrity in front of the term trafficking. And that way, when you think of the term trafficking, you think of celebrities and not the actual bad guys who are doing the trafficking. Understand? The celebrities are just puppets, playing parts, acting roles. The real bad guys doing the real bad stuff, they don't want you to know their name, and you don't get to know their name. So instead, they wave Puff Daddy in front of you. Here, this is the bad guy. This is the real bad guy, Puffy. Puffy Daddy's the bad guy. Let's all talk about how bad Puffy Daddy is. Ooh, I heard that he touched Justin Bieber's no-no zone. Ooh, did you hear that he touched Justin Bieber's no-no parts? I heard that he and Justin Bieber did the dirty no-no business. And if you don't believe that, well, then you're just crazy. See how they get you to go down these stupid rabbit holes, right? Where in reality, all they're doing is getting you to pay attention to celebrities on the world stage. So is trafficking a real serious thing going on? Of course. Do I think Puff Daddy is a major player in the game? No. Are they getting people to think Puff Daddy is some big time deal in the trafficking game? Yeah. And you don't ever focus your energy on what's really going on behind the scenes, you know, the real bad guys, because you got these fake bad guys. And then you also have this. Thank you, Rose. I actually had that written on my list to get to next. Humiliation ritual. Remember Bill Cosby was like gigantic when he was on TV many years ago, like doing the Cosby Show. And then his career kind of fell off and he wasn't really talked about. And then suddenly, like 100 bazillion women all came out and said Bill Cosby touched them inappropriately, all at the same time. And then everyone talked about Bill Cosby nonstop for months. And then it became yesterday's news. And I just checked to see what happened with Bill Cosby. They said that he went to a state prison for 3 years and then he got released. I don't believe they actually served the time, but I'm just saying this story has already played out before. And so when a celebrity's fame dies down, they can bring them back out and thrust them into the spotlight with one of these humiliation rituals, if that's what it is. Let's say it is. Then suddenly they're in the spotlight, and then you can break them down, and then 3-4 years later, build them back up again and make them popular again. America loves a comeback story. So you can tear down these celebs, and then 4 or 5 years later, they make a massive comeback and they're popular again. I mean, we live in a crazy time where all the publicity you get is good publicity these days. What is the most famous thing that Bruce Jenner ever did? Oh, become a lady. He became one of the most famous people in the world because he became a lady on TV and is part of a famous family. You see how that works? It's like you have to do something extreme, controversial in order to get even a little bit of attention, right? So you really got to go over the top if you want a lot of attention. So before any of you guys buy into all the P.Diddy stuff, I just want to let you know that these guys are actors who are being told to play these parts. And do I think they do crazy shit behind the scenes? Yeah. But if they're telling you something on TV and going into detail about it, that's usually a big red flag that they want you to talk about it. They want you to assume certain things. All right. Let me finish up this little video clip and then we'll get into the most recent stuff about his son being accused of the same stuff.
The source also telling NBC News multiple witnesses have been interviewed by prosecutors and investigators in relation to Combs, who is facing an onslaught of civil lawsuits alleging sexual assault, sex trafficking, and the illegal distribution of guns and drugs. Among his accusers, Rodney Little Rod Jones, a music producer who originally filed a lawsuit against Combs in February. Jones alleged that Combs forced him to procure sex workers and pressured him to engage in sex acts with them. Now, Jones has amended that civil suit after the raid, adding Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. as a defendant, alleging that Gooding groped Jones while on Combs' yacht.
You know what I noticed with this one? It's like a web that grabs a bunch of celebrities that no one's talking about so much anymore. Like I haven't heard nothing about Cuba Gooding Jr. in a while, not that I can remember. And so now like, oh, now he's suddenly in this thing and talked about too. His name's in there. And then I saw this other report that like a video surfaced of P. Diddy patting down Justin Bieber and it's so creepy. We're going to check that out in a minute. And so they're like grabbing other celebrities in this web to make this PR stunt even bigger, right? Like, how many different celebs can we grab and shove into this ball of PR bullshit to get everybody and they mama and they mama's mama to talk about this? Did you hear what Cuba Gooding Jr. was up to? Girl, I couldn't believe when I heard Cuba Gooding Jr. was doing that shit. I thought Cuba Gooding Jr. was a good man. I couldn't believe my ears, right? Tell me that's not what a black lady's gonna say about Cuba Gooding Jr., right? Let's pretend there is a black lady who likes Cuba Gooding Jr. She hears this. She's totally gonna be like, girl, did you hear what they done said about Cuba Gooding Jr.? She's totally gonna buy it. All right, I had to slip in my black lady impression real quick. All right, because it's good. All right. See what I'm saying though? Oh, we can't just have P. Diddy. We have to have like 5, 6 other celebrities get into this web of bullshit. right? Okay, now Cuba Gooding's in it too, and Justin Bieber. Okay, who else?
Representatives for Gooding did not immediately respond to requests for comment. Another prominent accuser, former longtime partner and R&B singer Cassie.
Cassie for holding me down in the dark times. Love.
Last November, she accused Combs of physically and sexually abusing her for years.
Cassie, everybody. I personally have never heard of her until now, but apparently she's somebody, right? Cassie.
Case was settled a day after the civil suit was filed for an undisclosed amount. Combs' attorney adding that the settlement was in no way an admission of wrongdoing.
And since Cassie's suit, as we've covered, several others have come forward leveling similar accusations.
Settled a day after sexually abusing her for years. The case was settled a day after the civil suit was filed for an undisclosed amount.
The case was settled for an undisclosed amount. You know, $1. We don't know. Let's see. So it could have been $1 or 100 sextillion dollars. You just don't know. But it was settled. Oh, and look, who can spot the Masonic symbolism here? Somebody show me. Somebody point out the Masonic symbolism here. Come on, guys, this one's easy. This is another thing, like if you really want to dig deeper, you can spot their little symbolism. Yes, the one eye shit, you know. So cool to take a picture of yourself with only one eye, right? That every celebrity just has to do it. Just like it's so cool to throw up the devil horns and it's so cool to throw up the A-OK symbol because it's just so cool. All right. So we got the P.Diddy stuff. And then the newest stuff, the up to the minute stuff, is now that his son, P.Diddy's son, Christian, wow, his name is Christian, also accused of sex assault. Like father, like son. Apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Diddy done taught him how to do it, right? Diddy was doing all the bad sex stuff and trafficking and stuff, and his son was around and he learned how to do it. Now his son's doing it too. The whole Diddy family's just a bunch of bad guys, right? The ringleaders of the diddling crew, right? So they get you to aim your hatred of people who do these bad things to kids. They get you to focus your energy at meaningless celebrity puppets, like lightning rods for your negative attention. Meanwhile, the real bad guys behind the scenes, who you don't know their names, are the ones doing the actual trafficking. See how that works? And they keep you totally focused on Diddy and his son, you know? So what I like to call this is an actual bullshit conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory planted by the government / mainstream media to get you to go down the rabbit hole of bullshit. Is there some little truth involved? Like, are celebrities shitbags that do evil shit behind the scenes? Sure. But all the stuff that they say, like when one of these cases comes out, oh, allegedly, Trump's being indicted on 100 cases of this, that, and the other. Do I buy that they're actually like going to face real jail time, prison time over that? Hell no. It's all a big made-for-TV movie. So, I see people still taking the bait, taking the crumbs, like leading towards the trap. And so, for instance, I pointed out that Cat Williams is full of shit months ago, like a month or two ago. I was like, Cat Williams is full of shit. That guy's an actor and puppet on the world stage. Cat Williams talked about weird stuff that P.Diddy does. And then a month later, P.Diddy case, or P.Diddy's now getting busted and raided, right? See how that works? Wow, he timed that perfectly, didn't he? So when you hear someone like Cat Williams come out and say, like, I went to one of P. Diddy's parties and him and Justin Biebs was doing some booty hole stuff, and I wasn't interested in doing nothing like that. So I got my black ass out of there, if you know what I mean, boo-boo. So if Cat Williams tells you that, you don't buy it and go, oh my God, Cat Williams spilled the beans. Did you hear, Jake, that Cat Williams spilled the beans about what Puffy does at his parties? No, you don't do that. What you do is you automatically point at Cat Williams and go, that guy's an actor on the world stage and he's full of shit. Puffy's an actor on the world stage and he's full of shit. Both those guys are full of shit. Do I think they both do some booty hole stuff behind the scenes? Yes, both of them do. Sure. Do I believe that they are kingpins or linchpins in some trafficking scheme? No. They're nobodies. They're puppets on the world stage, standing in front of a real issue. Understand? No, Jake, you don't understand. The media hates Cat Williams and they're against him and he's blackballed by Hollywood. Oh, is that why he got to say all this stuff about Puffy just a month before Puffy supposedly gets busted? Wow, crazy how Cat Williams was all over the news. Everyone talking about Cat Williams, and what did he bring up? Oh, did Puff Daddy be doing some booty hole stuff behind the scenes? Let me tell you some. I'm gonna tell you some news that nobody knows. Puff Daddy be doing some booty hole stuff. That's right. I done told you the truth. Oh, thank you, Cat Williams. Oh, did you hear, guys? Cat Williams broke down the whole Hollywood cabal. Puff Daddy does booty stuff. Right? I'm not fucking playing around. I am doing a comedy routine, but I'm not playing around. I had to actually tell people on my channel who told me I'm wrong about Cat Williams that no, the fuck I'm not wrong about Cat Williams. No, the fuck I am not wrong about any of these people. In fact, if you think I'm wrong, you probably still believe in the world stage. If you think any of what I've said so far is not correct information, you probably believe in the world stage still. Here's another thing about Cat Williams where I got him dead to rights. One of the most popular things he said online was like, it was the same nobody who done shot Tupac, and they never done caught nobody. The same nobody who shot Tupac. The same nobody who shot Tupac. You mean Tupac didn't get shot and is still alive? Did Cat Williams tell you that Tupac didn't get shot and is still alive? No, the fuck he didn't. But you can find a clip of him getting tens of millions of views saying, it was the same nobody who shot Tupac. And did they find the nobody who shot Tupac? They didn't find the nobody who shot Tupac, because then nobody shot Tupac. Yeah, well, tell us that he's still alive then, motherfucker, or else you aren't telling us the real truth. See how that works? So he gets you to think Tupac did get shot, but they just never solved the crime because it was an inside job, right? So he leads you down the path Tupac is really dead, but they just never figured out who the nobody was. He doesn't tell you Tupac's still fucking alive. So I'm sick of people sticking up for celebrities saying, Jake, you're wrong about this guy. He tells the truth. No, the fuck they don't. None of them tell the fucking truth. You know how I know? Because I tell the fucking truth. and I know that there's a fucking difference. Sorry, I'm a little riled up. I know whenever I talk about these things, there's always those who still have their feet firmly in Normieville. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. Puff Daddy does do booty stuff with Justin Bieber, and Cat Williams was right. And Jake's trying to distract you from the booty hole Bieber story. Oh, really? Because I'm sure that'll be the next one. Right? Let me show you what they got going on with this stupid story. You search this stuff and look what stupid crap you get. Nothing but P.Diddy trafficking, this, that. All over every news media and outlet. It's the biggest news in the world. Diddy. And that leads to shit like this. Reddit discussions. Was Justin groomed and abused by P. Diddy? So now you got people on Reddit talking about Justin being groomed and abused by Diddy. So you got people envisioning in their heads Justin getting touched inappropriately by Diddy. Oh, wow, so sad. Let's talk about it on Reddit. See, that's why I call it a conspiracy trash hole. This is actual trash conspiracy garbage that they want you to go to Reddit and be like, yes, I do believe Puff Daddy was grooming poor Justin Bieber. He was grooming Justin Bieber so he could touch his pee-pee. Such a bad man. Man, this is how they generate clicks in 2024, y'all. You got to generate clicks with news like this, right? Celeb gossip is hot, hot, hot. And you know what? You know why they're talking about Justin Bieber being groomed? Because of videos that released like this one. Viewer discretion advised. You're about to see Diddy groping Justin Bieber. Oh my God, I've got the goods, you guys. You ready to see it? Here it is. I mean, come on. Smoking gun proof. Diddy is the linchpin kingpin of the SEX trafficking mafia, and he groomed Justin Bieber to be his personal boy toy. See, they can get you to say stupid shit like that. And people say stupid shit like that. God forbid I say, this is all fake bullshit. These people are actors. Jake, are you saying that P. Diddy's a wonderful guy and never did anything wrong in his entire life? No. I'm saying that this story is made for TV bullshit. Understand? So you can get people to run with a story if you got enough celebrities involved, enough big names, right? So when I see every mainstream outlet running with the same story, that's a red flag. Multiple celebrities all getting tied into the web of bullshit with the same story, that's another red flag. SEX trafficking, that's like the new hot thing to be caught doing, right? Like Andrew Tate. Isn't that like a cool dude, awesome bro, cool thing, black pill, cool thing to do? Bro? It's because he's so successful with chicks. The the elites are trying to bring him down and stop him from being so successful with chicks, man, like they did with Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate was so successful getting all that poontang that the mainstream media tried to smear him. Yeah! All right. So my biggest point that I want to make here, this is it. They put a celebrity in front of the term trafficking. So when the common sheep hears the word trafficking, they think, oh, like Diddy. See how that works? They don't think of the guys actually doing the real trafficking, who are anonymous behind the scenes. No, they think of Diddy. That's how that works. You get people to associate celebrity with some controversial issue. Here's another great example. My old school subs are going to remember this. So if you type in famous flat earthers, what do you get? If you type in famous celebrity flat earthers, who comes up? You guys know who the most famous flat earth celebrity is, basically? It's Kyrie Irving. So when people say flat earther, a sheeple who watches basketball will be like, oh, like that weirdo Kyrie Irving. That guy's a good basketball player, but he doesn't know shit about the earth. He's one of those crazy flat earthers. So they get you to associate celebrity with crazy flat earther, crazy flat earth. Kyrie Irving is not an actual flat earther. He doesn't ever show anyone any real material or uses influencers' money to prove that the earth is not a globe. So another thing that really gives it away is this is an IMDb page, for acting. So it's listed, an athlete listed on an IMDb as being the most famous flat earther. And when I Google it, this is the guy that pops up, right? And then you got other examples, like Tila Tequila and shit like that. And then you can have influencers like Logan Paul mock the flat earth because it's so stupid, bro. Anyone who doesn't think the earth is a globe is stupid. I'm Logan Paul. I'm going to mock the flat earth because it's so stupid and I'm such a cool bro and I'm so influential. These influencers can stand in front of any subject to influence how you think about it and or be the lightning rod for your attention. Another good example, a lightning rod for your attention for a very controversial issue. Watch. What doctor do you think of if I show you this? What doctor do you think of when I put this on screen? Watch, let's do an experiment here. And this is for inoculating mushroom jars, so don't anyone assume this is for drug use, okay? Way too big to stick in your arm. This is for knocking up mushroom jars, for growing mushrooms, okay? Not for drug use. Silly boys. Name the doctor. What doctor do you think of when you see this? Come on. There we go. Right? Didn't take long. So you think of that doctor just by looking at this. Because he's the made-up bad guy who you're supposed to demonize for being the one who does all the bad stuff as far as this goes, right? So they have these puppets who don't really have any power and aren't really the evil genius behind the whole plan, who they have as the lightning rod for your attention. Oh, that doctor who promotes the jabs, that guy's the bad evil guy. He's not the one in control. He's just the actor standing in front of the syringe. See what I'm saying? So they can associate an actor with a thing and get you to think that that actor is like ingrained with that thing. God, there's so many examples. Like Elon Musk and SpaceX. People think Elon Musk runs SpaceX. No, SpaceX is the government, and Elon Musk is the guy that stands in front of it. He's the lightning rod for your attention for the government doing space missions, and they call it SpaceX. So it's all very similar when you look at it, like attaching a celebrity in front of an idea or a concept. So back to my original point, they put P.Diddy in front of trafficking. So now when you hear trafficking for the next 6 months, you're going to think Diddy if you're the common TV watching sheeple. Understand? All right. So I think I pretty much showed you what I wanted to show you with that. We can move on to the Eclipse stuff. All right, we got 460 people watching. That's awesome. Can you guys do me a big favor and hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying yourself? I still got 2 more topics to hit here, and then I was going to do some open chat to finish off. So I got a fun show still lined up for you. Lots of good stuff. Please hit the thumbs up if you're having a good time. I would really appreciate that. It's quick and it's easy. I see a bunch of people watching, but I don't see quite enough thumbs up. And YouTube's been doing some funky stuff with my channel lately, so I can use all the help I get. My last basketball video didn't get that many views, but got like over 1,000 likes and a shitload of comments, but only got 6,000 views. Didn't make sense, dude. So I know they're tanking with my views and my subs, like always. All right. So we got the Eclipse coming up. And I was thinking about driving out there, but I decided not to because it's a lot of driving from where I am. For me to get to like the Path of Totality, one of the really good spots, it's a lot of driving from California. And so gas is so expensive that I was looking at the main cost, and the main cost is gas. So I'm gonna end up missing this one. And I've heard that in some places the weather might suck and might make it not easy to view. So I would hate to drive out there and then have weather issues or whatever. So, or have them, put planes in front of it, spray in front of it or something like that. So I'm gonna miss this one, but I have caught a eclipse before. So I caught the one that happened like back in 2017 or 18, I want to say. It came through California and Oregon, and so I'm gonna miss this one. But I do want to talk about how astronomically the chances of an eclipse happening in the globe model, the way they say it does, is one of the biggest astronomical coincidences that you could possibly imagine. And I'm going to talk about that with a example. All right. Let's see if I can do this correctly. I've done this before, and hopefully I can repeat this and have it work just the way I want it to. Okay, so they say, we're told that in the globe model, that the Earth orbits the sun, and the sun is a gigantic fireball. So we're going to say that this represents the sun, and then we're going to say that this quarter represents the moon, right? So as you can see, if I put them side by side, quite the difference in size. We're going to say this is the sun and this is the Earth's moon. What they want you to believe is that you're a human standing on the Earth that's spinning and going around the sun, and your little tiny eyeball sees a little tiny gray rock just so happen to line up just perfectly with the big gigantic fireball sun. So it's one of these scenarios. Look! Oh my God, it perfectly eclipses. Isn't that amazing? It's almost like they're the same size, but they're not. Now, people who believe in a globe Earth don't think that that's any big deal, that they claim that the moon totally eclipses the sun. Do you know that they claim the sun is 400 times bigger than the moon, but it's 400 times farther away? So they just exactly perfectly eclipse. So let me tell you the story that they tell us. And you guys tell me when I get to the end if you really believe that. So they tell us that all of everything was condensed into a pinpoint. And this is mainstream science story that they tell us. Everything was condensed into a pinpoint smaller than you can imagine. And it exploded outward for reasons unknown. And all of this matter, you know, everything that ever existed, exploded for reasons unknown out of nothing. And then all of this matter started coalescing and clumping together into balls. Some of those balls became planets, some of those balls became moons, and other balls lit on fire and became gigantic fireballs. So you got gigantic fireballs, you got moons, and you got planets, and you got black holes, right? You have all those things. And it just so happened that the Earth just so happened to form right next to the sun, not too close, not too far away. The Earth formed next to the sun in the Goldilocks zone. It's a very magical zone. They even call it the Goldilocks zone. You know, that story about the bitch who went and invaded some bear's home and ate their food and slept in their beds? That Goldilocks. So the Earth is in the magical Goldilocks zone. But wait, there's more. Water somehow showed up. They don't exactly know how. They think either icy comets pelted the Earth over and over again millions and bazillions of years ago. It doesn't do that anymore, but they think maybe it did back then. Or they think maybe volcanoes went off and created condensation. You know, lava creates condensation, and then it created clouds that rained just continuously for so long that it rained oceans. It doesn't do that now, but they think that maybe it did back then. So it was either icy comets or volcanoes somehow making oceans somehow. Those are their two stories. But wait, there's more. In the ocean, somehow life showed up. We don't know how, we don't know why, but they say it was a primordial soup that got turned up. You know, the ocean was a soup, and there somehow, some way was a cell of life that showed up in the ocean, and then another cell of life, and another cell of life, just little cells of life, and they started to clump together. And those clumps of cells formed a fish. And then there was a bunch of fish. And then the fish grew fucking legs and walked up out of the ocean and turned into frogs. And the frogs turned into monkeys. and the monkeys turned into people. You are a used to be monkey people who looks in the sky while all this craziness in outer space is going on, and you fucking happen to see a moon. It's tiny, and a gigantic fireball, which is gigantic, and they just so happen, out of cosmic fucking luckiness, pure luck and coincidence, it just so happens to do this. Oh, isn't that fucking amazing that people believe that horse shit tale? When you tell it like that, the way I told it, doesn't it sound fucking stupid? And I'm sure there's people here who still believe in that globe model that I just destroyed just by talking about it. So that's the story. All the smart guys who went to school are telling people and believing. Meanwhile, a guy like me with some logic comes along and goes, hey, wait a minute. We don't see the moon actually go in front of the sun. We just see a black spot go in front of the sun. Maybe the moon doesn't eclipse the sun. Oh, you're stupid. Get out your tinfoil hat. This guy's wearing a tinfoil hat. He said the moon doesn't eclipse the sun. Yeah, the moon doesn't eclipse the sun. You don't see the moon go in front of the sun. And the fact that the coincidental event of it happening is just astronomically impossible in my book. That those two things are the exact same distance apart to your eye, even though they're totally not the same distance away at all. It just happens to line up perfectly to your little human eye. Come on. Come on, man. So, I say sun and moon, same size, same distance. Yeah. Is that crazy to think that those two things? Let me find another quarter here. Here's one. Am I crazy to think sun and moon are this? And they don't eclipse each other. They eclipse themselves. It's like or maybe there's a black thing that we can't see that only shows up when it goes in front of these luminaries. I say the luminaries, sun and moon, both of them, not what we're told. So they aren't what they told us they are. And they're both the same size, same distance. So moon, I don't know what that is. Sun, I don't know what that is. I've heard people make up stuff and make up their own stories. Oh, well, that's plasma, or that's a holographic, projection. I don't know, but I know it's not a gray rock and a burning fireball eclipsing each other perfectly in outer space. All right. All right, let me go to the chat for a minute. Nibiru is coming. That one's been around for a long time. I think that's bunk. There ain't no extra planet or extra thing that's going to come and do anything. So any sort of extra planet that's going to show up and destroy the world or whatever they say is all bunk garbage. That one, that old conspiracy theory has been around for a long time. And once you figure out that they're lying about space and space travel, it does away with like stories of Nibiru and aliens and stuff like that. Nicola Jokic says the eclipse is really Mr. Burns blocking the sun. You know, the Simpsons have predicted or foreshadowed a lot of stuff, with their episodes. And so there's something about that episode, Mr. Burns blocking the sun and then getting shot. I think we're going to see some form of that in the future. So one day you're going to see some sort of technology where they do block it out. I mean, they're already spraying shit in front of the sun, but let's say they do have some sort of city that does have some mechanical arm that does block out the sun like that, like in the episode or something similar to it. And then the guy who's involved for creating it does get shot. You know what I mean? They could be like, wow, isn't that crazy how the Simpsons episode was like that, said that happened with Mr. Burns and let it happen in real life. Wow, that's like life imitating art, right? They won't get that it's like a script, with actors who are going to play out the script that was written for the Simpsons episode. But yeah, in the future, I think there's going to be some sort of play on that. Can't say exactly what they're going to do with it, but there was a part in my video about the bang bang pow pow in Kansas City, where the kid who was a witness said, at one point when he was recalling what happened at the event, he said, I got stepped on. I had a big footprint on me. It was Bigfoot. And then the sun was in my eyes and I tried to block the sun. And when I blocked the sun, they shot me. So the kid claims he got shot at the KC event, the KC parade. And two of the things he mentioned was Bigfoot and I blocked the sun, they shot me. And so when I typed that on YouTube, they shut my comments down. Shut the whole damn comment section down on that video over and over again. And I would go into the settings and turn it back on and they would shut it back off again. So somehow they got the little kid to mention Bigfoot and blocking the sun. And he's a witness and a person who has supposedly popped at the KC parade. Crazy. Crazy how they get these people to say these certain words on TV. And you got to be someone like myself to even catch it. So if you want to go back and watch my KC video, go back and watch it and you'll catch the kids saying exactly what I just told you. Yep. All right. So I don't buy for a second what they're saying as far as the eclipse goes. And I don't buy anything they tell us about outer space, space travel. Because basically the model that people think they live on, the globe model shooting through space, that's provably wrong. And so for me to even listen to anything space related anymore, like I go into anything space related, like, well, this is bullshit, right? I don't even give it the time of day as maybe possibly being true. Whereas an event where, let's say, there's a bang bang pow pow situation, I'll at least hear, what happened, how many people got hit, how many people supposedly died, show me the evidence, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, this one was set up and staged. So there's certain things I can go into and know, okay, this is for sure going to be staged. And then there's other things I actually got to do a little bit of an investigation. When it comes to fake space, it's always fake. All right. No, I am not a religious man. I believe the earth is created, but I am not a Bible thumper. I don't consider myself a Christian. However, I have quite a few Christian subscribers and followers. And so I don't bash anyone's religion. And at the same time, I don't consider myself religious. So it's one of those weird spots where, like, I'm not atheist. I come from a position where I believe this place is created. I just don't know by who or what. And I'm not the type that, like, will just blindly have faith in this God or that God because this book says so. I'm not the type that can go down that path. And so those who have, if that works for you, hey, more power to you. But that path just has never worked for me. And when it comes to Christians, the results can vary what type of person you're going to get, So there's people who call themselves Christians who believe that they live on a globe Earth shooting through space. And then there's people who call themselves Christians who think they live on a flat earth under a dome. There's people who call themselves Christians who go out with a megaphone and scream at people out on the streets that they're going to go to hell if they don't repent and accept Jesus in their heart. And they annoy a bunch of people by doing that and cause everyone to hate them. So I've seen all different types, from, you know, radicalized to just weekend warrior Christian. So I don't like to paint any religion or any group of people with a broad brush, because I know, like, you know, a Christian comes in all different shapes and sizes and thinks all different sorts of shit. Davy D. LaFleur says over 500 in the chat. Hit the like button. Yeah, how about that? Hit the like button if you guys are having fun. I still got some more show to get to. I got Owen Benjamin going on Alex Jones' Infowars show and kissing his ass. Yes, I got the goods. Thank you, Davey. I appreciate the donation, buddy. All right. So check this out, you guys. I did an expose video on Zach Hubbard and Owen Benjamin. Well, it was a live stream. So I did a live stream like 2 weeks ago, and I killed 2 shills with one stream. I got Owen and Zach both back to back, and then like a week and a half later, Owen goes on Infowars and kisses Alex Jones' ass, and I was like, thank you. You totally proved me right. You totally gave me even more ammo to show everyone that I was right. So anyone who ever said, dude, you're wrong about Owen, well, now you get to explain this. Uh-oh, who is that? Folks, we're very pleased to be joined by a failure hack of a comedian who couldn't cut the mustard in Hollywood. Owen Benjamin, ladies and gentlemen. Owen's going to be here kissing my ass for an entire hour. Owen, are you ready to pucker up and kiss my ass?
20 minutes of his time. He takes over now. We'll skip both the network breaks. We got one local break coming up in a few minutes. Owen Benjamin.
All right. All right. Thanks for having me. Everyone make some, give a round of applause to Alex Jones. That was some of the best entertainment I've ever seen. No need to apologize, bud, for the 20-minute delay. I got to sit here and watch that, and that was hilarious. I have a theory that most canceled people, regardless of their politics or religion or anything, it's because they're really funny. And I would just like to point out, I'm not brown-nosing or anything. Me and Alex have made fun of each other in the past. You know, I'm not that kind of person. Alex Jones is hilarious.
Okay, so right away, Owen comes on. I'm gonna play a good bit of this clip. We're not gonna watch the entire thing, but I'm gonna let it play here in a minute, and I won't interrupt. But first thing he does is say, "I'm not gonna brown nose Alex Jones. I'm not here to brown nose him." But Alex is hilarious, so he right out of the gate compliments him by saying he's hilarious. And so, for years, people have told me, "Hey, Jake, do you like Owen Benjamin? Or you should team up with Owen Benjamin, or what do you think of Owen Benjamin?" And da-da-da. And every time I ever checked the guy out, I never was entertained by anything he said. The guy never made me laugh once. Never once. And then when I saw that he hangs out with shills and runs scams, then I pegged him as a shill. And then I started calling him out. And so I'm going to let the video play, and we're just going to listen to Owen talk on Alex Jones' show and see what he has to say. And I want you guys to keep track of how many times he makes you laugh with the funny things that he has to say, supposedly. And keep track of any cool truths that he exposes. So he's on Infowars, right? So he should be exposing something big here, right? So let's go ahead and see what Mr. Funny Comedian Man is going to expose here.
Mr. Buttplug just made me laugh out loud alone in a barn. So well done, my friend. That was great. And I'm honored to be here. I can't believe I get to follow Rabbi Shmuley, the highly religious dildo salesman. I've never had that as a comedian. I want him to open for me on the road. That was amazing. I mean, I just witnessed. I mean, listen, there's a lot, he's obviously gross, but like there's something hilarious about Shmuley. Man, I have a weak spot for people that try to make the most absurd arguments. He just made an argument. He just made an argument that he had the moral high ground as a butt plug lubricant salesman. I mean, that was high level chutzpah right there. I mean,
so whenever I have watched Owen, he says dirty things, right? Lowbrow shit. Butt plug lubricant, Mr. Butt plug. But there's no joke. It's just him saying butt plug and expecting to get a cheap laugh because he said the word butt plug. So I never found anything of what he said ever funny. And I noticed all he does is try to use like key words, cuss words, naughty words, what have you, in place of actual comedic material. It doesn't work that way, Owen. You actually have to have a joke and a punchline. You can't just say naughty words.
can you imagine? All right, he just made a claim with Alex Jones that if only Alex Jones had used his butt plugs and lubrication that he sells with his daughter, his marriage would have been saved. And I couldn't stop laughing thinking about that conversation where Alex goes to his wife. He's like, "Listen, I know we're having a lot of problems and we're having a lot of disagreements, but I'm ready to actually attack the real problem. I've been talking to this religious rabbi who sells his daughter sells lubrication and butt plugs, and it's time to really we attack the deep state, in our relationship, which there's nothing deeper than our butts. So I'm going to strap this thing on, and I don't want any judgment. It's kosher."
It's a C- level Alex Jones impression. Very average. You guys want the real deal? Folks, need not listen to these cheap imitations, all right? There's only one original. And I never said nothing about no butt plug lubricant. This guy, frankly, is a liar. What I did say is I'm going to eat my neighbor's ass. That's right. I got a leftist liberal neighbor, and I'm fixing to eat his ass. I'm going to saw his ass up. I'm going to saw it up with some onions and some fava beans, and I'm going to feed it to my children. I'm going to feed my neighbor's ass to my children like little baby birds, right? I'm going to be like Mama Bird, chewing up little pieces of my neighbor's ass, feeding it to my little baby birds. Yeah, that's called an Alex Jones impression, bitch. Right? Now you guys heard Owen's impression, and then you heard mine. Which one was better? Do I even need to ask which one was better? I will eat your ass just like corn on the cob. I'm ready. I'll eat your ass. Come on. I do such a perfect Alex Jones that people have told me I do Alex better than Alex Jones. All right? I don't mean to toot my own horn, but toot diddly fucking toot. So somebody go over there and tell Owen Benjamin that his Alex Jones impression is weak sauce, and he needs to take a look at the boss.
It's made with the blessings of the covenant, God chosen people. They come in rainbow. There's pink, there's black. I'm going to use the Darth Vader one because, it's a little more masculine, it's more patriotic. Little red, white. I mean, that's so preposterous. And, Alex did a great job with that. So I I have a lot to talk about today, but I can't. I mean, after.
Oh, I forgot to thank Tom, I think, for sending the super chat. Says, this Alex Jones actor is a douche. I think Alex Jones is funny in the fact that he's just a hilarious character. Once you know he's a world stage actor, then seeing him talk about eating his neighbor's ass, is kind of funny. But it's not funny like he's a comedian strategically delivering a joke. It's more like, I'm not laughing at anything funny that he does. It's more like the character that he's forced to be is funny to me. See what I'm saying? It's hard to explain, but I think I kind of explained it correctly. It's like Alex Jones is funny, but he's not funny like because he tells good jokes or does good impressions like I do. Instead, he's funny because of the ridiculous things that he's scripted to say. Thank you, Tom, for the weak sauce comment and donation. All right. So again, nothing funny coming out of this guy's mouth yet. No big time truth. He's basically just kissing Alex's ass. Let's listen to a little more.
After watching that, I have to review Shmuley a little bit. He said that we're obsessed with Jewish sex. So he's saying that we're the ones obsessed with their sex life when he literally sells dildos and writes books about how more people should sell dildos. And then he said that, that they have the best sex lives, but yet they sell lube.
The guy's been on Infowars for like 4 minutes, and he said butt plug, dildo, and lube like 20 times. Am I right? Who does that? Oh, I can't wait. Me and my bears, we're going to go on Infowars. We're going to get a whole hour to talk, me and my bears. I'm going to go on there, and I'm going to do my Alex Jones impression. And then I'm going to talk about butt plugs and lube. I'm going to start off talking about butt plugs and lube and dildos. Then I'm going to work my way into, the good material. Loser, dude. Like I said, never could understand why anyone liked this guy. Jake, man, you're wrong about Owen. No, the fuck I'm not. I'm proving that I'm not right or not wrong about Owen. I know it's only a handful of people who told me I was wrong about this character. But still, that small handful of people telling me I'm wrong. What now? What now? Here's your hero, Owen, hanging out with AJ, talking about butt plugs. Is he still your hero? So any Owen lovers who are here, who think I'm being hard on Owen, dude's talking about butt plugs and lube like as his main material to start. Just saying. What was the point of Alex Jones bringing him on the show?
Tell you a little something about us, simple rural goy. I didn't even know the purpose of lube. Someone had to explain it to me because in my experience, the woman is usually attracted to the man. They haven't litigated themselves into a bedroom and used leverage and shame and, some form of like a court order.
He didn't know what lube was. Someone had to explain to him what lubrication is. So he had never heard of, like WD-40. He had never been like a teenage boy who ever jerked off and used Vaseline or lotion or baby oil. No, never heard of anyone doing any such thing with any lubricant. Someone had to explain to him when he was a full-grown man what lubricant is for, because he's only been with ladies who were so turned on and wet, according to him. God, his comedy's so edgy and cool. I wish I was a bear that could go live on his property, but he won't let me because he's a scammer piece of shit.
At that point, you're going to need some heavy duty lubricants. I mean, that to me is really funny. So he made the claim that he has the moral high ground because of the butt plugs, and it saves the marriages. And then he condemned Alex's marriage because he wasn't using lube that he sells with his daughter. I don't know. I just loved it. And he also, Rabbi Shmuley, you said, quote unquote, you make yourself fair game when you bring something up. And then you said Joan Rivers was a comedian. She was joking. Well, Shmuley, I'm also a comedian. And you opened the door for the grabber mask. I don't know if you guys saw.
I'm starting to get annoyed just listening to him ramble and not say anything of any substance. Butt plug, lube, and I just lubrication, dildo, butt plug. That's all I get out of listening to that guy, right? What was there to gain? Is there even a point in continuing? Like, is he going to get to the good stuff? Did he start with that and then he's going to work his way up to the good stuff? I think he blew his wad and that was the good stuff. I think if we continue watching, it's going to get worse. He might continue talking about lube for the next 30 minutes. But, you know, there's those people that like to tell me, dude, you're wrong about Owen. Oh, am I? Let's listen to more butt plug talk and make sure that I didn't get this one wrong.
Rabbi Shmuley's video about Candace Owens, where he put on a giant grabber mask and wrote Candace on his shirt. Well, I also have a grabber mask, and you know, people have called this anti-Semitic. I didn't.
So hip and cool to be the thing that the internet says that you are. Yeah, the internet says he's an anti-Semitic cult leader, so he has to make sure to be that. Ugh.
Elmo does not like Owen Benjamin at all. Elmo thinks that Owen Benjamin is not funny. Owen Benjamin never make Elmo laugh, not once. Jake the asshole make Elmo laugh every time. Ah!
There you go, Andy. Just for you. Yeah, so the mask is of a certain race of people. And so his job is to be the poster boy for talking lowball smack about a certain race of people. And if you do that, they can kick you off of different social media sites, you see, and then they can funnel you over to Rumble with him, right? So he's not really exposing any bad guy elites by showing that mask. He's not bringing the bad guys to their knees. No evil Jays are shaking in their boots because of Owen Benjamin showing that mask. Instead, they have him there as a puppet showing that mask as if he's exposing the bad guys. Meanwhile, dude's talking about butt plugs and lube on Alex Jones. There you go. Sometimes it's just too easy, right? Well, that's funny. This guy said the exact same thing I was thinking. That's crazy. Yeah, sometimes, you know, I call someone out And then like the very next week, they totally prove everything I said was right. And then even more so. And I can be like, look, see? All right. Yeah, Rose, it's almost as if he was trying to influence you to go order some of those products from Alex Jones, right? Alex Jones is selling butt plugs. Like, I didn't know Alex sold those things, but now he's mentioning it. It's almost like he promoted those products. See how that works? Yep. Right. Andy says, thanks, Jake. I sure love you. Well, you're welcome, Andy. I appreciate that. I'm glad you guys are here to hang out with me tonight. All right, at this point, we can do some open chat. We can talk about whatever you guys want to talk about. I already covered the Diddy stuff. And then we covered, I talked about the Eclipse a little bit. And then just covered Owen Benjamin on Infowars. And so that was all I had pretty much lined up as far as topics I wanted to discuss. And I shot through those pretty quick, actually. So now we'll just open topic, question and answer, whatever, you know. Nuke asks, do you believe in dinosaurs? No, I do not. So once you figure out Earth isn't a globe, that kind of does away with stories of evolution and dinosaurs and space rocks killing the dinosaurs and stuff like that. So dinosaurs are fictional creatures, and it's an industry that's promoted by Hollywood, and they can get you to pay, you know, to go to a museum and look at, you know, what you think are bones, but it's actually just like plaster. They can have like one bone and then a bunch of fake bones, and then tell you that that's what, you know, a dinosaur skeleton looks like. And then you can have people pay all day long to go look at, you know, fake dinosaur skeletons. So it's a big, gigantic racket in business, and it's a brainwash as far as getting people to believe the Earth is millions and bazillions of years old, and there used to be dinosaurs roaming the Earth, and then an asteroid killed them all, and shit like that. So they can get you to believe in fantasy and fairy tales, and dinosaurs is the connector to get you to believe in the evolution fairy tale and the Big Bang fairy tale. Dinosaurs goes hand in hand with those. BA says MK Ultra athletes. What's your thought on that? You know, I don't know what sort of stuff they can do with that. You know, I can only imagine. But I also think that just with money alone, and you know, these players getting the opportunity to make millions to play fake football, you don't need to like have any special MK Ultra control. It's like if they sign on the dotted line that they're going to play the pretend game and get paid the millions to do so, you pretty much got them. You know what I mean? And then if they violate that contract, you can find another person and stick them in their place. So, do I think they could be using some form of MK Ultra? You know, there's those clips of basketball players that look like they're, robotic, freezing up. So I have seen the clips of players doing some very strange things. However, I don't have any concrete proof that I can show you. You know what I mean? I don't know anyone who's been provably MK Ultra to play in a professional sports game or anything. So it would just purely be assumption. Baltimore Bridge deal. I was gonna do a video and then I stalled and I waited, and now it's been a while to where I don't even know if it's like worth my time to put out a video. But I think it's a staged event for sure. It's staged. I don't think a boat takes down a bridge like that. However, I think a lot of people are focusing on it like almost like it's as big as like 9/11 or something, and it's not. So it's not 9/11. So it's not like they passed the Patriot Act Part 2 because of it. So, and it's not like they blamed it on, Middle Eastern terrorists or whatever. So, and because I don't live near it, it wasn't something that I jumped right on immediately. So I probably should have covered it, within a first few days of it happening. Because if I try and cover it now, it's probably been too long. I don't even know if it would get that many views. But anyway, it's a staged event. A bridge doesn't collapse by a boat accidentally hitting it like that. And boats aren't going to accidentally hit a bridge like that. Just more fake shit. And I have seen plenty of people talking about it, so there's no shortage of videos. I just personally, like when I looked into it, it was kind of boring to me. And so there's only so many subjects that I can cover because it's constant fake news. So the fake news is running constantly. And there's so many fake news stories that there's too many for me to cover. I would have to spend all my time covering all the fake news. Like if I was to cover the fake war and cover, the fake celebrity news and cover fake sports, it would eat up like all my time. So I personally have to pick and choose some subjects that I just don't fucking care about. You know what I mean? I just have to go, nah. So here, yeah. So I saw Peggy Hall covering the bridge. Peggy Hall's made like 10 videos on the bridge, and so she pretty much says a lot of the same stuff in those videos. And so I watched a little bit of it, and I got bored, to tell you the truth. After looking into the bridge a little bit, I was like, some stage bridge collapse, whatever. Who cares? I don't live in Baltimore. I live on the West Coast, so it's not going to affect me at all. So there's certain subjects that just don't appeal to me, even though like I could make a video about it. Oh, here's another example. So I remember like a few years ago, everyone was like, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard. Amber Heard. Oh my God, Amber Heard. And I was like, who the fuck's that? Who the fuck's Amber Heard? I know who Johnny Depp is, but I don't even know who Amber Heard is. And I don't give a fuck. So I just never fucking made a video about it and never looked into it. And now no one ever talks about that shit anymore. So it obviously didn't matter. See? So my life didn't change by not covering it. I still don't know what the fuck the Johnny Depp Amber Heard shit was because I just didn't feel like looking into it. There's certain stuff people are like, Kate Middleton! And I'm like, who? I don't know who that bitch is. So I just don't care. It has to be something that like grabs my attention in order for me to even have enough motivation to care anymore. Because there's constant fake news running constantly. So do I want to cover all of it? No. I get bored. JL says, hey, Google article said NASA will blast rockets into the eclipse. Thoughts and reply with a RFB voice. Oh, you want a specialty request here with an RFB voice. Okay. I don't know if you guys realize, but this eclipse is going to open a portal to hell. And the elites are getting ready to use what they call NASA rockets, but they're actually going to be Chinese plasma nukes, and they're going to shoot these plasma nukes into the vortex hellhole and try and blow up hell. All right. What this is going to do is it's going to unleash all the demons that you could ever possibly imagine, and also the ones that you are unable to imagine. They're going to exit the hell realm. They're going to come through the portal that is opened up by CERN. And you know what they're going to do? They're going to fly directly up your asshole and implant themselves in the inner lining of your urethra. And the only way you're going to be able to save yourself is to get right with God and to repent and read your Bible and to like, share, and subscribe. But at any rate, I digress. There you go. I think that was as good as I could have made that. All right. Thank you very much for the generous donation. I always enjoy it when somebody asks me to do an impression that I know I can pull off. What sucks is when somebody new here assumes I can do any impression, and then they send a super chat and ask if I can do an impression of a person I've never done an impression of. And then I have to be like, shit, dude, I've never practiced that. And I don't want to screw it up and do a shitty impression. So I'm glad that you asked me to do one that you know I have mastered. So thank you again, JL. Jake the Asshole, do you think Zachary K. Hubbard has a mysterious wife, or do you think he's lying? Sweet Lady could be a lie. I've heard rumors that that is his handler. I've heard rumors that she doesn't exist. Maybe she does. I don't know. What's important is Zach is a scammer. He's a proven scammer. You go to Sports Gematria's channel, and he's got all of it cataloged. And Zach is also a proven liar. If you go to Sports Gematria's channel, watch clips of Zach making a pick and then lying about it afterwards. Zach will tell you Sports Gematria is just a hater and a troll, rather than admit that he was caught in a lie. So Zach just maintains anyone who ever catches him on video provably being a liar and scammer, that person is just a troll and a hater. And surprisingly, he still has an audience who watches him and follows him, and they stick up for him, even though he's a proven liar and scammer. Sports Gematria is the #1 source for exposing Zach Hubbard. If you don't like Zach Hubbard, Sports Gematria is a must. The guy's channel is gold. I don't have to worry about me doing any of the legwork to record what Zach's saying or go watch his streams and try and pick out the times where he lies or contradicts himself. Sports Gematria catalogs all of that. He screen records everything that Zach does, and he catches everything. So all I got to do is just go over to his channel and boop, just find little nuggets of gold and then play it for you guys. And then we laugh at Zach. And then Zach gets mad on his end and says that I'm too pussy to debate him. It's hilarious. Man, I heard what they was saying about Diddy. That shit's crazy. Man, one time I was trying to work with him. He wasn't trying to work with us, but I'm glad though. Because now that he coming out as being accused of sex trafficking and stuff, man, I'm like, hell no. I ain't trying to be working with nobody like that. Hell no. Didn't even have to use my AK. Gotta say it was a good day. All right, there you go. There you go. All right, a little ice cube for that ass. Sonny Lamont says, hello from Alaska. Says your thoughts on Dr. Ouchie and your thoughts on the attack on the Capitol and how is it staged? Keep up the good work. Yeah, the Capitol thing, the J6 thing was staged. It's a bunch of actors. So basically, anything like that on the grand stage of like a Capitol building and then an insurrection and then all of these people being caught on camera just perfectly like it's some sort of movie. It's because it is. It's a made-for-TV movie. So no chance that any real civilians who love Trump are actually going to do anything like that. So instead, they can stage some shit like that and get a bunch of Trumpers to think that that's what an actual insurrection looks like. And there's people who are planted. I have a friend that was there, and he's real, so you're lying. Yeah, I've heard it all. Every time I call out a fake bang, bang, pow, pow, there's always somebody who says they had a friend who was there running from the bullets. So, yeah, J6 storming the Capitol, totally staged. Go back and watch it, put it in slow motion, use logic, and you'll be able to see. It's just some made-for-TV bullshit. And as far as Dr. Ouchie, he's an evil puppet in front of an evil subject, but he's not the main guy in control. He's not really the bad guy running things. So if you think about, oh, the jab is evil and it's a bad thing, and Dr. Ouchie is the one behind it. No, Dr. Ouchie is just a person in front of the controversial topic so that he's the lightning rod for your negative attention. So if you believe that jabs are good, then you support Dr. Ouchie. You have good things to say about him. And then if you think the jab is bad, you have bad things to say about Dr. Ouchie. Meanwhile, you're not focusing on the real evil men who put this whole plan into motion. And it wasn't Dr. Ouchie. Understand? So Dr. Ouchie is just another puppet standing in front of a controversial issue, the same way P.Diddy stands in front of trafficking. Tom N says Vegas Pow Pow was fake as fuck. Vegas Bang Bang Pow Pow was super fake as fuck. So many things wrong with it. First off, the shots come from their audio. It comes from speakers. And so any side stories of multiple shooters, this and that, it's all guardrail shit. So the noise came from speakers. There was no actual shots fired. And you can go back and look at the footage. You'll never see any rounds hit the ground. So real rounds, when shot from like above, hitting the ground from a high-powered rifle, you're going to see like pieces of the ground pop up, you know? Like in movies, they do it with special effects. You'll see like the action hero running, and then like somebody like let's say in a helicopter shooting at them, and it hits like just behind them, and it's like hitting the ground, ping pow, ting choo choo, right? And you see like spots on the ground with sparks, or the ground shoots up. So if real rounds were being shot, you would see pieces of the ground coming up, but you never see any rounds hitting anything. Not the ground, not people, not anything. So the one thing missing from every bang bang pow pow situation is footage of an actual round hitting someone. That's the one thing that's always absent. So they have dummies on the ground, you know, pretending that those are dead people, and they can have people pretend to be dead people, but actual footage of people getting popped and dying, that we don't ever see because it ain't happening. Tom N says Dr. Ouchie is cashed a fat ass check, no doubt. All these actors on the stage, they get their guaranteed money, but I don't think they're as rich as they're portrayed to be. So I think their money is also fake. Like I think they get to live in mansions, but I don't think they have as much money as we're made to believe. Like Trump isn't as rich as we're made to believe. His money's a bit of a facade. But does he get to live in a mansion and look like he's rich and famous? Well, sure. But he has to constantly be somewhere and do something. He can't just be like, oh, I'm going to retire and chill for the next 10 years, right? So it comes with the job. Oh, you want to live in this big mansion and be on the world stage? Well, all right. You have to be here and you have to be doing this and you have to say this. And you have to promote this product. So it's a job. And if you do the job, they'll let you live in a big mansion and make it look like you have lots of money. But in reality, I think a lot of the money is fake. Goatus the Natural. Looks like somebody made a Goatus channel out there. Says, out in nature, you would never get the jab, so to speak. That is simply because the jab is unnatural. Thanks for watching. Lore, 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 lore. All right, those who watch my Goatus parody channel get it. Those who don't, probably don't. Out in nature, you would never see an animal lining up to take a jab. That is simply because they are unnatural. However, gluing a wig to your head if you are going bald is extremely natural. In fact, getting a hair transplant is one of the most amazing things that a man can do. Nicola Jokic says, please tell the Beetle nuts their Paul died. So one of the most famous celebrity replacement theories is that Paul McCartney got in a car wreck and the Beatles were at the height of their career. And so they replaced him with a lookalike who could sing and play just like him. And the only difference was the guy played right-handed and Paul plays left-handed. So all they had to get him to do was just learn how to play the other way. And I think if there was enough money on the line and I had to learn how to play bass the other way in order to be a character, I think it could be done. It would be challenging, but I think it could be done. So yes, I do believe that the story of Paul being replaced is true. And if you go back to how big the Beatles were, it makes sense that if you tell everyone, oh, Paul died tragically in a car wreck, that's the end of the Beatles right there. The end of the money train stops immediately. Whereas you keep them alive, you can have Paul, generating, hundreds of millions throughout his career. Even today, still performing, Tom says, I think big money that pro players get is fake as fuck. I think it's in their contract that like, okay, we're going to give you 50 million, but you have to buy this mansion for $10 million in this neighborhood. It's in your contract. And you have to buy this car, this $750,000 Lamborghini, because it's in your contract. So I think they contract you to spend your money on these high dollar items to where like your money's automatically contracted into these certain things. And that's why when you hear these stories of players going broke, it would make sense if they had to buy and maintain a $10 million mansion and they only had 50 million. And then after, 5-6 years of living there, like they couldn't afford it anymore. Now it makes sense. So you never hear about the player that makes 100 million and like didn't fall for any stupid shit and spent all his money correctly. I'm sure those exist, but you get what I mean? You always hear about the player who made 100 million and somehow spent it all. And I always thought, dude, how can anyone make 100 million or 50 million or even 10 million and spend all of it? That's stupid. It doesn't make sense to me. I know that would be impossible, that if anyone gave me that kind of money, that I would spend all of it. No fucking way. And so when I hear stories of athletes spending ungodly amounts of money, the only way that makes sense is if they're contracted into buying huge luxurious items that they can't afford in the long run as part of their contract, and or the money itself ain't really real. Yeah, not including drugs and hookers. No, I'm talking about the big money items like a mansion. You know what I'm saying? So if you got 50 million, and you spend 10 million of it on a mansion. Well, a $10 million mansion is going to take like 100 grand, you know, fucking each month probably just to upkeep it, you know, from all the people you're going to have to pay, you know, butlers and clean people to clean the place and take care of the lawn and the plants and all that shit. I'm sure, you know, just upkeeping a mansion is expensive. So I can see why, if they get contracted into having to buy all these super luxurious items to make it look like they're living large, in the long run, if all they're doing is spending and then their big money contract comes to an end, they're no longer making that money. And then suddenly they can't afford to keep up all that shit anymore. That's when you hear the story about the player going broke. Davey D. LaFleur, who you just changed your name recently, didn't you, bro? Says, you watching WrestleMania this weekend should be entertaining. I started a YouTube channel, is why the name changed. Oh, well, you answered my question right there. Yes, I'm going to watch WrestleMania. I have to say that this storyline with The Rock coming back and joining the Bloodline and Cody and Roman Part 2 is one of the most exciting, entertaining storylines that the WWE has ever done. All the rest of the shit on the card, I'm not nearly as much interested in. So mainly I care about the two main events because, like, you know, the Rock and Roman versus Cody and Seth is a gigantic tag match. And then the next night, Cody Roman 2 is going to be gigantic. So I'm into the main event and the main Bloodline storyline, because the Bloodline storyline actually ties in to the Elite Bloodline story. So the story of the Elite Bloodline running the world is running concurrent, parallel in the fake professional wrestling world. They have the Bloodline wrestling faction as the Elite faction running the wrestling world. So in the WWE, you can find examples of Hulk Hogan and Macho Man talking about the Twin Towers coming crumbling down many years before they did come down. And so now you're looking at a storyline with The Rock, who's high up the ladder these days in Hollywood. And he's part of the Bloodline in the WWE. And then you could also argue he's part of the evil Bloodline running the world stage. You know, people like him and these other celebrities people like to point at, like Oprah and whatnot. So you have these evil celebrity bloodlines, right? Evil elite bloodlines. And so the storyline with the WWE is Roman Reigns, a champ, is cousins with The Rock, and they're tied back to the same family bloodline. Tom says, if I'm a pro, I'm buying a farm and trucking company. If I'm a pro, I'm buying a farm and trucking company. I'm not sure. I feel like I missed something. Like I'm missing something about this comment. So here's my prediction. WrestleMania, for any of you who are going to watch WrestleMania, here's what I see happening. Cody Rhodes is set up to be the second incarnation of Hulkamania. So Cody Mania, when he wins the belt in the second main event on Saturday, when Cody wins, and yes, Cody's going to win, you're going to see Cody Mania take off. And they're going to have Cody be basically the modern day Hulk Hogan. And he's going to go on a babyface Cody Mania run. And he's going to be the champ probably for another year, maybe till the next WrestleMania. So my guess is Cody Mania ensues. And then you see Roman Reigns take a step back and start doing stuff with Hollywood and become a part-timer like The Undertaker and start showing up only for like SummerSlam and WrestleManias and stuff. And so I think Roman Reigns is going to be more like a character like The Rock, who only comes around every now and again in the future. And so they're going to have Cody carrying the company. That's what I think is going to happen. See, I was a fan of wrestling when I was a kid, and so I still like to watch certain storylines when they do a good job of captivating the audience. So if a storyline is big enough, like right now, they got The Rock to come back and join forces with the champ Roman Reigns, and Roman Reigns hasn't lost a match in years. And so this is one of the bigger WrestleManias. So as an old wrestling fan, I'll find myself watching that, even though I know it's just garbage entertainment. At least they admit that it's entertainment, right? At least the WWE admits it's entertainment and doesn't try and pretend that it's an actual fight. Vex Luther says, dude, I want to say I appreciate it's the work you do, and I want to know that you got it. So here's $4.99 more cents, puts 5 on it. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. I just try and, cover these subjects. And like I was talking about earlier, there's so many stories now that the fake news is running 24 hours a day. And so there's only so much time in the day that I can cover these fake stories. So I got to pick and choose what fake story I want to cover. So thank you guys for, following along with my channel. I know, I jump around from topic to topic. So some people who only care about football might not care about the other stuff. And then the people who like the conspiracy stuff, you might not care about the football stuff. So I hope that some of you guys out there, can stick with me, even though I jump from topic to topic. Whereas most channels these days pretty much stick to one thing. So anyway, thanks, man. I appreciate that. Tom says, I'm not buying a $750,000 Lamborghini. So they want you to worship these players. And one of the reasons they, I think, force them into buying gigantic mansions and these luxury cars is to make you idolize them. So they want you to think, Patrick Mahomes, let's say, is so cool because he makes all this money and lives in this mansion and drives this cool car. So they can get you to worship these players and put them on a pedestal because you see them driving around town in a Lamborghini. Genya Avocado says, my truck cannot be electronically remote controlled. You're talking to a guy that drives a 2000 model Toyota Sienna, right? So my vehicle's 24 years old. So I know exactly what you mean. And I'm so used to driving like older vehicles, older Toyotas, that like I'm used to a very basic setup, to where whenever I get in a newer vehicle and I see all the new shit, I'm like, I don't even know how to use half that crap, right? It'd take me hours just to figure out how to even work all that stupid crap. So, I drive older, simple vehicles, and I've had good luck with older Toyotas that I buy used and drive the shit out of them. And then I get rid of them and then buy another one, So I'm a used vehicle man myself. Greg Berg says, my minivan handles like a Zamboni. Dude, my Toyota Sienna glides down the road pretty smooth, man. One of the smoother driving vehicles I've ever had. Tom N says, I love all your shite, Jake. Thank you, Tom. I appreciate the fact that you love all my shite. You're a very generous guy. Thank you for donating and supporting my channel, man. He says, no Lamborghini, but yes, a farm and a trucking company. Yeah. See, for the cost of a Lamborghini, you could buy property and start your own homestead or farm, or you could do so much with the cost of a Lamborghini. that owning a Lamborghini is ridiculous. You're only doing it to show off and look cool, right? And there's a high chance that if you buy a Lamborghini that you're going to drive it too fast around a turn. You're going to fuck yourself up. So anyone who's like, no, dude, Lamborghinis are cool. And if I had that much money, I'd buy one. Well, you're only doing it to show off. And once you have that much power at your foot, you're going to want to show off by going fast. There's a strong chance you're going to crash. No Bull Truth says, what is your view on athletes off the field work? Well, each guy is different. You know, there's athletes who aren't big name athletes who we don't hear much about what they do, off the field. And then there's guys like, Shaq, who's like openly a Freemason and has been openly a Freemason for years. That straight up has his ring on camera and he's like, that's my profession. That's what I do for a living and that is my profession. So it really just kind of depends. Like when you're talking about a guy like Tom Brady, he's like involved with like billionaire activities, right? Whereas like other former athletes, they aren't talked about or still in the public eye at all. They're basically, forgotten about once their career ends, only mentioned in the context of football and stats. So it really just depends, man. Like for me to give you a broad answer to like, what each individual player or all the players collectively are doing for work off the field, it's tough for me to answer that. Weird Cat says Jake Sienna Gibson. It's been one of the best vehicles I've ever owned. As far as being an old vehicle that I bought like turnkey without having to like work on it or like, fix a bunch of shit. Like I bought it and the only thing I've had to do is replace the tires and the battery. And other than that, I've just driven the shit out of it. I have driven my Sienna so many miles in a short amount of time, taken lots of trips with it. And the only time I ever had it not start up was when the battery died. And that's because I drove it around with an old battery in it from when I first bought it. So I had to replace the battery one time when I was in Las Vegas. And so that's it. And then the tires were bald. So I bought new tires for it. So for just putting tires and a battery on a 24-year-old vehicle and driving the shit out of it, it's been awesome. And then I like to be able to put my mattress in the back and take overnight trips or, multiple night trips. And so I love having a minivan because it's small enough I can fit into any parking spot, take it anywhere. It's not too big, but it's big enough I can sleep in. And so being able to go on a trip and not have to worry about a hotel room is like one of my favorite things to like do. Is like if I feel like taking off and going on a trip, I go. If I want to go to Las Vegas for a weekend, I'll just go. I don't have to worry about a hotel. Just shove my mattress in the back of my van, bring an ice chest, and a camping stove, I'm good to go. If I want to go take like a camping trip, out in the middle of nowhere, having a van is also awesome because then you don't have to worry about setting up a tent or any of that shit or pulling a trailer, any of that junk. Only thing that sucks about a gas powered car is like, I live in California and gas is like $5 a gallon. And then when you get closer to the ocean in the big cities, it goes up to like $6 a gallon, sometimes more. And so that's the main cost. Like when I want to take a road trip, is the damn gas. Like, so I pretty much after 3 hours, 3.5 hours, 4 hours of driving on the freeway, just straight driving, I'll deplete a full tank. And so I always look at a trip like, how many tanks of gas is it going to cost? And it's always the damn gas that is like the biggest cost factor on the trip. Because I can cut the hotel room bill to basically nothing by sleeping in the van. But it's, if you drive the van all day long, like if you're going to take a long trip, it's the gas that's always the main expense. So that's the one thing where I wish I had an electric vehicle. You know, that's the one thing where I wish I had a Tesla. But I don't want to have a Tesla because then they can spy on you and watch what you're doing in your car, you know, program it to break down. That's really one of the reasons I don't want a Tesla, is like I feel like the technology is going to be used against me somehow. And they're really damn expensive. That's the other thing. But I am jealous of, like, you know, the electric driving and not having to gas up. That I am jealous of. Tom says, I drive a 2016 Ford F350 diesel, and I'll drive that till the wheels fall off that bitch. My wife drives a Toyota RAV4, and we have 0 car payments. Dude, I haven't made a car payment in so many years. Yeah, I buy my vehicles outright with cash, and I own them immediately. And then I get like the cheapest insurance. So yeah, man, my insurance is always low, and I don't have a car payment. I'm with you on that, dude. I learned that lesson a long time ago. Jake Paul, Mike Tyson. You know what? I haven't even looked up the odds. Let me look up the odds. Okay. Not looking good for Tyson. So I'm thinking Jake Paul's going to win because the odds suggest that the public's going to put their money on Tyson. At plus 300, I think people are going to put their money on Tyson. Tyson is the most famous fighter since Muhammad Ali, one of the most famous fighters of all time, and even more famous than any current boxer today. And so I think at plus 300, you're going to get quite a few people to throw their money down. So Jake Paul wins by decision. Tyson puts up a good fight. I think Jake Paul by split decision sounds good to me. Jake Paul either by unanimous or split decision. A split decision makes the most sense because then you can say Tyson fought hard, and then people can argue Tyson should have won. So I'm going to say Paul wins by a split decision, and they can make it look close so that people respect Tyson for putting up a good fight in his old age. And then the Tyson fans can say he should have won or could have won. Yeah, dude, those odds basically scream Jake Paul. And what sucks about those odds right there is you wouldn't make that much money if you'd have to bet $360 just to make $100. Let me see what you can get if you bet on a decision. Fuck. Of course, I can't find it right when I want to find it. All right, I guess I'm just gonna have to like go to Bovada and see what they say. Does anybody have it offhand? Because I have to like spend a bunch of time trying to look it up. Sports. Oh shit. Well, Bovada has a different set of odds. I'm looking at Bovada right now, and it shows an entirely different set of odds. This one has Jake Paul as minus 175 and Mike Tyson only at plus 135. That's gigantically different than what I just looked at. That's a completely different set of odds. So it might depend on what book you use, what sort of odds you're going to get on this. And they're not letting me choose. Oh, they won't let me choose to bet on knockout or decision. So it's not letting me pick how the fight will end. It's only giving me one bet option. So Bovada sucks. So that didn't help at all. Okay, so on Bovada, they have shittier odds for Tyson winning, and they're only giving you the option to pick Tyson or Paul, but they aren't giving you the option to choose by knockout or decision for better odds. Tom N says, make it look close to set up a rematch. Yeah, see, a split decision and Tyson fighting hard or making it look like he fights hard would set up a rematch. Or could set up a rematch. Vex Luther says, I work for General Motors. They don't want to make electric cars. Do you know to change one car, it uses the same electricity that 88 to 120 houses use? I had no idea about that. I don't know dick squat about anything that you mentioned. But thanks for letting me know. Yeah, that is quite a bit. I had no idea. Learn something new every day, I guess, huh? Make sure I didn't miss any super chats. Sometimes I ramble and miss them. Davey says no KO in the weird rules I'm hearing. Oh, so it's going to be like that one where like he fought Roy Jones. Remember when he fought Roy Jones, there was a betting line and then a lot of people bet on a tie. So then they removed the betting line and just refunded everyone's money. And then they had him fight to a tie. So you guys remember Roy Jones and Tyson had a terrible sparring match. It was terrible. It was barely even watchable. It didn't even really resemble an actual fight. And so they sold that to people and they had that be a draw. And I remember thinking, oh, they're going to have it be a draw, so I'm going to bet on draw. But they wouldn't give you the option to bet draw. You had to pick Tyson or Roy Jones. And then they just refunded everyone's money. So I think you're going to see something similar to the Tyson Roy Jones terrible sparring match. It probably won't be as terrible because Jake Paul's younger and in better shape than Roy Jones. So I think they'll make it a little more interesting. But don't expect to see like a knockdown drag out brawl. And don't expect to see like, late 80s, early 90s Tyson. He ain't that. And even back then, a lot of those fights were totally fake. So don't expect to see some amazing old school highlight reel knockout from Tyson. Sweet. Just removed a troll from chat. He made it very obvious. He just wanted to tell everybody how dumb I am. Yeah, I'm so dumb. I've entertained about 500 people for the last 2 hours talking about multiple subjects while they pay me. Because I'm so dumb. And here you are, getting banned from the dumb guys chat on a Friday night. So on a Friday night, you chose to hang out with me and get banned. I wonder what your weekend looks like. And I recently unbanned like so many people because I feel like I probably accidentally banned some people, and then trying to dig through all the people I banned to unban somebody was a pain in the ass. So I went and I unbanned like 400 accounts. So I unbanned a shitload of trolls, but what I'm hoping is there's also people who made a mistake, accidentally banned them, like they maybe were talking about someone in my video, and I thought they were talking about me, so maybe I accidentally banned them, or people here in chat maybe accidentally bounced someone, one of my mods accidentally bounced someone. So I unbanned damn near every troll, and so now my ban list is very small. You have to really go out of your way to make sure that you're insulting me and trolling me, and so I make sure that I get it right. Yes, Solar Adam, I did talk about the eclipse. I did a little example where I showed I took a quarter and then a big giant lid, and then I matched them up and made them look to appear to be about the same size, and then I made them eclipse each other. So I did my own little example and explained how highly unlikely that would be if the Earth was a globe shooting through space, as we're told. So definitely you're going to want to go back and check that out. When the stream ends, I recommend everybody, if you missed it, to rewatch it at 1.25 speed. It makes me talk a little faster, but I get to the point quicker. And I think it makes some of my jokes even funnier when I say them a little faster. And you can get through the stream even quicker. Another thing I recommend is that you listen to my streams when you're taking a long road trip. So if you have an hour-long drive, 2-hour-long drive, that's when you throw on one of my streams. All right. And now for a little business. I created this shirt years ago. I am the first person to ever take the lunar module, put it on a shirt, and compare it to a homeless tweaker's shelter. And you can own a shirt like this or a mug like this by going to the links I have in the description down below, and I'm also going to post some in the chat. So the mug link and the shirt link are in my description. I'll post the link in chat. And this is my own design, and it tells the truth. And it never goes out of style. Unlike other trends, this one stays cool forever. So like 10 years from now, this is still going to be a cool shirt, right? Lunar module or homeless tweaker shelter shirt. And it doesn't look like my link is actually going to take you to the spot. I don't know why, but anyway, the links are in the description down below. This is what it looks like. I sell it for $24.99 plus shipping and handling, and it comes in all different styles. So you can get a hoodie or a women's style shirt, right? So I have the women's style shirt, sweatshirt, hoodie. And so you can get any of this merch by going to my store, clicking on the links below. All right. This right here, I actually ordered this recently. So I've been selling these mugs for years, but I never actually bought one of my own mugs. So I thought, you know, shit, I drink coffee. So why don't I go ahead and order one of my own mugs? So I realized like all my shirts that I had, all my lunar module shirts had holes in them because I'd worn them so much. So I saw that like, oh shit, my shirts have holes in them because they're so old. I should probably order some new ones. So this is a newer one that I ordered. And then I ordered a mug as well. So I do order my own products because I use them and wear them out. Yeah, unlike the shirts, the mug will last longer as long as you don't break it. You know, the mug can last you, you know, fucking forever, basically, as long as you don't break it. Whereas like the shirts, I wore some of these shirts for like 5-6 years until they were like faded and had holes in them and stuff. And it was like I didn't feel like getting rid of them because they were my shirts that I created. So I was like, dude, time to get rid of these old shirts and just order some more of your own shirts. All right, hit the like button if you enjoyed this stream, folks. I can hang out on here a little longer with you guys. I'm having fun. Nuke says he's ordering the mug now. Hey, if you work like at an office, you know, this might be a conversation starter, you know, around the water cooler or at lunchtime or whatever on your coffee break. You can be like, hey, everybody, how's it going? And they can be like, what's that on your mug? Oh, well, this is proof that man never walked on the moon. And they're freaking liars. Yeah, I have proof right here on my cup that NASA's a liar. Yep, the government lies. My cup proves it. Do you have a cup that proves the government lies? You don't? Well, I do. Nuke is ordering one. Vex Luther says, what do you think about it? All the woke movies and media, why do companies insist on going broke? So the word woke is hijacked. So I like to refer to somebody who's awake to conspiracies and the world stage. You know, smart like me, I like to consider someone like that awake. I used to even use the term woke, you know, before the media got their grubby little claws on it and attached it to their putting a bunch of black people in movies crap. You know what I mean? They tied woke to like, black people, right? So they made it all about like, let's just shove a black lady in every single movie for every part because of woke. You know what I mean? So the term woke, you know, before they hijacked it, didn't mean that. People, when they said it, didn't ever mean it that way. It only is that way because the media hijacked it. And so I like to use the term awake instead, because, you know, I'll say I'm awake to the fact that these actors on the world stage are just puppets pretending to play a part. I'll say I'm awake to conspiracies. I'm awake to the fact that football's rigged. So I still like the term awake, but they demonize the term woke. And see, it's not the first time they've done that. So I remember back during the pandemic, they stole the term Karen. So a Karen was somebody who flipped out if you weren't wearing a mask. You're not wearing a mask. Oh my God, get away from me. Excuse me, sir. Sir, you need to put on a mask. Sir, you can't come in here unless you're wearing a mask. That was a Karen. A Karen was somebody who would flip out if you didn't wear a mask. And then the mainstream media, they took the term Karen and they applied it to a lady who flipped out about being asked to wear a mask. So instead, the media said that the Karen is the lady who flipped out for being asked to wear a mask. I can't believe you guys are asking me to wear a mask just to come in the store. I'm not going to wear a mask just to come inside the store. Oh, now she's the Karen. See? So my aunt, her name is Karen. And when she said, oh, I hate how the media is talking about Karens, she brought up an example of the opposite of what I thought was a Karen, which was a lady complaining about people not wearing masks. And instead, no, now the Karen became lady complaining about having to wear a mask. See how they sneakily will take any little thing that we make cool, or humans like the normies that they talk about, any words they use, the mainstream media will hijack those words and make it their own for their own evil agenda. Can you do your black lady in an elevator impression? Shit, that might have been something that I did one time, and now I can't remember exactly what I did. Oh, yeah, okay. So one time, the doors of an elevator were coming to a close, and I quickly ran up and I put my hand in because, you know, they don't like slam on your hand. It opens up. So I quickly ran up and I put my hand in. And when it opened up, there was several people in the elevator, but there was enough space for me to step in. So when I stepped in, a lady goes, nuh-uh, no. And she's wearing a mask, a black lady. She goes, nuh-uh, no. There's too many in here. COVID, no, I'm like, you're going to a casino with thousands of people all in close quarters, and you're going to touch the same buttons as everyone else. Nah, there's too many. Nuh-uh. Stupid bitch. She was like one of those type of people that, like, you know, when she's talking to her friends and people she likes, she'll pull down the mask and be like, girl, let me tell you about this. I'm going to gossip about this and that. And let me tell you what, But then when like some white guy like me comes around who she doesn't like, oh, well, then she pulls it up. Nuh-uh. I ain't trying to let that white man give me no COVID. I'm going to pull my mask up. I don't like when someone uses their mask against certain people, but not others. You ever see one of those? Oh, someone I don't like is walking up. So now I'm going to wear a mask and pretend to be afraid. Oh, look, one of my friends is walking up. So now I'm going to pull it down and talk to him, right? That reminds me of an old joke. I used to have a mask as a prop so that I could do this joke and make it work as good as I can. All right, so this is a prop. I don't wear these things, but I use it for telling jokes the same way I use the needle prop instead of having to say the word, you know? All right, so check this out. So when you see someone wearing one of these things, inside their head, they think they're protecting themselves. And they think that their mask is like a bulletproof vest for their face against flying spiky balls. So the person you see wearing one of these things, they think that spiky balls are flying around everywhere, and that by wearing one, you basically have a bulletproof vest on your face like this. Ping, pew, ting, ting. Like the little flying spiky balls, the ones that make you sick. Like when someone sneezes, they sneeze little spiky balls and they come flying at you. As long as you have your mask on, oh, well, it blocks all the little spiky balls from flying in your face. Like this. Ping, pew, ting, pew. Right? And then you do this. Oh, you're unsafe. Then now you're safe. Not safe, safe. Not safe, safe. Not safe, safe. Not safe, not safe, not safe, not safe, not safe. Right? I'm safe right now. Nothing can hurt me. Oh no! Now I'm in danger. Please don't sneeze on me. Now I'm protected. Nobody can harm me. Oh no, I'm in danger. Please don't cough around me. Oh, but now I'm safe. They think it's a bulletproof vest for their face against little invisible spiky balls. I swear. Because if you ask them, why are you wearing that? Oh, to not get sick, because I don't want to get sick. So it helps you to not get sick? Yes. How? COVID. So that basically means they think flying spiky balls shoot around in the air. And if you want to be safe from those flying shooty spiky balls, all you need is one of these, and the balls just bounce right off. Ping! Pew! 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 So you got a little spiky ball trying to fly up my nose, and I'm like, no! And it's like, pew! Tom says woke is a reverse psychology to fuck with folks that are awake. I grow my own shit, raise my own shit. Wife works her ass off. Give our woke ass a chance. Yeah, it is a shame that they took the term woke, because I actually used to like say, awake and woke as if they were the same thing. But now I have to stay away from the term woke and only say awake. And I have to also explain, when I say awake, I don't mean the BLM loving, black version of awake. I mean the like awake to conspiracies version of awake. Which sucks that I have to explain myself like that over something like awake. Oh, look, one of those Circle Sun AE map thumpers who hangs out with Jaren and all the shills is here. Hey, bro, why are you hanging out on my channel? You know I don't like the AE Circle cult hanging out over here. I don't like any of you. So why don't you just get lost? Could have swore I saw you over there in one of his little debates or something. Could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure you've ran with that shill crew for years. I don't recall any videos of you talking about how the sun doesn't go in a circle and all those people are shills. At least I don't recall. So why do you still have sun and moon going in a circle on your profile picture, sir, when they don't do that? They provably don't do that. Earth not a globe, yes. But AE map with circle sun, circle moon? Come on, man. This ain't 2015. Oh, yeah. It's because I'm a bad guy. Nah, dude, I've spotted you hanging with shills before. I have a good memory. And your profile picture is the sun and moon going in circles over the AE map. Just saying. Tom N says someone reported me, kicked me out. How can they kick you out? You're a moderator. I don't understand. I know that there's a lot of trolls and shills who, you know, report my channel and do all sorts of stuff, but okay, Stinky Cash, whatever, dude. If you're not here to start any trouble or whatever, then fine. Just then I'll not talk about you anymore or whatever. Okay? I'm not gonna start some shit here at the end of my stream. I've been having a good stream, so I'm not looking for any circle map pusher to piss me off at the end of my stream. So whatever, dude. Have fun. I distinctly remember you coming at me sideways not too long ago and me getting rid of you. And so since I unbanned a shitload of people, now you're back and you're pretending like me and you have never had any problems and you love me and I love you and you know all the shills and expose them all. No, see, if that was the case, then I wouldn't think of you the way I think of you. You would have never got banned in the first place. So the fact you were banned before and now you're coming back and acting like you're totally on the good guy side. I don't know. Something's up with that, but I don't feel like entertaining you or any of this drama. So whatever. Yeah, just go ahead and blame it on me and the ego. Whatever you want to blame it on. That's fine. I don't care. Tom says, kick me out of YouTube for 5 minutes. That's weird, dude, because you've been here as a mod, like commenting and donating. So if somehow you got kicked out, that's funky, dude. That doesn't make any sense. Stinky Cash, shut the fuck up or I'm going to ban you. How about that? Because now you're just here like trying to start something, dude. Yeah, it's always tiny channels who want my attention and they want to start some drama with me over nothing and then pretend that it's all me. There was another channel that did that last time I streamed, came over here, started something over nothing. How come so-and-so got banned? Why did you ban so-and-so? And then so-and-so goes and then makes a video about me, slandering me and talking shit. And it's like, oh, well, that would be a good reason to ban that person. Yeah, always little shit channels looking for attention that want to come over here. And then when I say, okay, maybe I got it wrong, so whatever, I don't want to feed into any little drama. Then they keep going and they keep going and they keep going and they keep going. Okay, well, now you're banned, and now I won't ever have to see your stupid ass around here ever again. Cool. I swear I've spotted that guy with shills. Him saying that he's never ran with any shills. I just don't buy that. Oh, here we go. Got him. Got him. I just went to his page. Now I got him. Okay. About to get you here. Look, here you are. Promoting Witsit Gets It. One of Jaren's crew. Baby Truther shit. Baby Truther, Austin Witsit, Baby Truther show. Jaren, Dave, Globebusters, Witsit. And here you are saying that the sun it goes away from us and that it's all perspective. No, the sun goes down, Stinky Cash. The sun does set. The sun goes into the fucking ground to your eyes. It doesn't get smaller and turn into a dot. You know, like a car traveling away from you or a train traveling away from you. So this is debunked garbage that fake flat earthers and idiot flat earthers push. Real flat earthers, like myself, Q and Fee, well, we know that the sun goes up and it goes down, and the earth not a globe. How does that work? How does the sun go up and go down? Well, that's because we don't just live on a piece of land with two things spinning around above us. No, we live in an artificial realm. This is like a giant simulation we all live in. And so that's why the sun and the moon don't go around in circles. They provably don't. The sun comes up out of the ground and then goes back into the ground, the way you see it. Gotcha, Stinky. Why are you promoting Witsit? Why are you promoting Austin Witsit Gets It? Right here. Look, Austin Witsit Gets It. All right. So if I go over here, I'll show you where the shills are hanging out. They do this debatism. Debatism. Flat Earth and fight the Flat Earth and Micktoon debates. Let's see. I think Witsit was in one of these. Oh, here he is. Austin Witsit. In a conversation about the shape of the Earth. So there's Witsit hanging out on Jaren's program. And then Stinky Cash promoting Witsit. See, I knew I had you tied to one of these shills. You're still pushing that 2015 Eric Dubé shit where the sun goes in a circle and just gets farther away from you while it appears to go into the ground when you actually look at it. You have to pretend that it's not. Oh, you can't admit that the sun rises and sets because that debunks flat Earth, right? No, it doesn't. Curvature. Proving curvature. Proving the oceans stick to the spinning ball. Yeah, that would debunk the flat Earth. They haven't done that. But the circling sun, circling moon has been debunked by me and by other Globers and by Q and Fee. So, not going to put up with any of these circle sun, circle moon, repeat 2015 Eric Dubé shit, guys. Thousands of them repeating the same stupid debunked shit. None of them ever took the time to actually go look at the angles in which the sun rises and sets. No, the crater Earth theory, dude, there's nothing there to actually back up the things that he's saying. It's just it's a cool, entertaining story that he tells, but he doesn't actually have the proof to go along with it. Oakley runs another controlled debate over with the English shills, and it's a very tiny group of people, and he's the one who's in control of the mute button. And he gets really nasty from time to time, Oakley. And there's plenty of videos out there of him just being super nasty to people, to where nobody wants to show up and debate him, to where they just sit around and bullshit. And then when you look over on Jaren's channel, Jaren's getting 10 times the views, but Jaren's teaming up with Fight the Flat Earth Craig and Micktoon. So basically, the debate is a controlled topic. They want to control the debate from both sides. So they got the fake flat earthers, and then they got the globe earth defenders who argue back and forth nonstop every day, week after week, year after year. Nothing gets accomplished. That's why I don't like to do shit like that on my channel, because if I was to like bring one of these globe channels on to have a debate, that would fill the chat with a bunch of globe trolls who are going to insult people and call me names, call you guys names. And then it's just going to turn into, you know, a war in the chat between you guys and the globe trolls. And then it just turns into this big negative bunch of shit. And nobody really gains anything out of it. So I've purposely tried to stay out of going back and forth and debating with these channels, because you'll just be spinning your wheels getting nowhere. Michael Bryant says even college basketball is fake. Yes, anything with a betting line is fixed. So a junior college game with no betting line, that's going to be legit. A Final Four game in March Madness, that's going to be fixed, super fixed. So can they get college kids to play pretend basketball? Yes, easily. Can they use technology in the ball and rims and missile tracking technology to make sure the shots go in March Madness games or any college game? Yes, of course. And so anyone who thinks, oh, the NBA's rigged, so instead I'm going to go bet on college. Yeah, well, they got that fixed too. So whenever I make a video saying that this or that sport is rigged, people always go, well, what about baseball? What about golf? What about college basketball? It's like, yes, there's no fucking exceptions. If there's a betting line, then it's fixed. If there is a betting line, it is fixed. No exceptions. But what about the NHL? And it's like, people will do that even if I fucking say no exceptions. But what about tennis? It's like, so I get tired of having to answer that same question. Well, what about this? What about that? Because the answer is, if there is a betting line, it is fixed. No exceptions is the answer. Well, what about the WNBA? It's like, fuck. No, that's totally real. And they'll let you win as much money as you want. Tremolo says, told you I'd hook you up. You never let us down, bro. Keep up the good work. Hey, thanks for the donation, man. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. Thanks all you guys for watching. So Tyson versus Logan. I'm starting to think that if they won't let you bet on draw, if they won't let you bet on knockout or decision, then we might get a draw and then they just refund everyone's money and then just take the money made from selling the event, you know? So now I'm wondering if they just have the whole thing end in a draw the way they did with that Roy Jones fight. So I'm guessing it'll either be Logan wins by decision or it'll be a draw. But I don't think Tyson wins. That's the least likely, in my opinion. Yes, all UFC fights are fixed. Guys take punches on purpose. So there's guys who will get knocked out purposely. And it's easy to get fake knocked out. If I know I'm supposed to get knocked out, all I got to do is eat one shot, and then I go down, and then that dude jumps on top of me and goes like 3 times, and then the ref stops it. And that's it. And you might be like, dude, he beat his ass. And really, all you got to do is eat like 3 or 4 shots. It's not like you're, getting beat hospital bad. So I've seen plenty of these guys get knocked out. And really, all it is one good shot. And then they go down. And then the dude jumps on top of them and goes, like 2 or 3 times. And then the ref stops it. And that's it. So check it out. If you need 2 fighters to go the distance, you just have them wrestle each other and lay on each other and eat up a bunch of time, right? If you have one guy who's a huge favorite and there's a ton of money on him and you need an upset, well, then you just have the underdog miraculously pull a knockout out of nowhere. So in the UFC, there's a lot of miraculous upsets, unexpected upsets. And that's because the money is heavily on one side. And then, if you have 2 wrestlers who you expect are going to have a long wrestling match, then they can have it end quick, you know what I mean? And have the fight pay the under. So wherever the money is, they can manipulate the outcome. And for you to think otherwise is just stupid. Like, why would they leave any matches up to chance? So that you could win money with your fight knowledge? Give me a break. Every fight in the UFC is fixed. I don't care if you don't believe that, but I think every one of those fights is fixed because there's money on every one of those fights. And I don't think they're just going to let Joe Blow plumber bet on the guy who's better and make money. They have to have the guy who's not so good unexpectedly win in order to have the upset occur where they can take that big pile of money that's sitting on the table. So if you want to point at certain matches and go, that one's real, that one's not, you can do that. But I'm not going to. Yes. UFC, TKO, WWE. Need I say more? Oh, now here it comes. This is what it's all about. Junior Smooth, he's a fighter. And he wants us to know how great of a fighter he is. And he wants us to know all about how he trained. And he's so tough. And he knows what he's talking about. Listen to what he has to say. You haven't trained a day in your life. I've trained with Terrence Bud Crawford. Teofimo Lopez was my 14-year-old world's team in Casey Mo, Missouri. Big whoop-de-fucking-do, bro. You think I'm impressed? I don't know who those guys are, and I don't give a shit. They're a bunch of frauds and phonies fighting fake fights too, I'll betcha. Right? So you know what? I'm not impressed. and you didn't convince me at all. You remind me of NFL fanboys who say, I have a friend who plays in the NFL, so therefore it's not rigged. Okay, I have a friend and he plays in the NFL, and he told me not rigged, so therefore it's not rigged. Junior Smooth trained with a couple of dudes who I've never heard of, so therefore UFC is real. And they'll let you bet on the guy who's better and just totally win money. Thank you, Junior Smooth. I know you're so tough and you practice fighting all the time because you're such an awesome, cool, tough athlete. And I'm just some, little internet guy who's never fought anyone in my life and never trained a day in my life. Oh, except for when I used to box and wrestle. Yeah, I used to box and wrestle. I actually have proof that when I was a kid, I used to fight other kids in front of 500 fucking people. So, before you say I've never trained a day in my life, just know I have a background in boxing and amateur wrestling. I have won entire amateur tournaments in wrestling. I have boxed 4 amateur bouts from when I was a kid till I was a teenager in front of people. So, let's not act like I don't know anything about what I'm talking about. I think at the UFC level, all of them are fixed. And I think you're just naive. You remind me of an NFL fan who says not all the players are in on it, just some of the players. Or it's just the refs. You're that guy. You're that guy, bro. You're the guy that says the NFL is rigged, but it's only the refs in a couple of the quarterbacks. Everyone else is playing real football and has no clue, man. Sure. No, I was not faking any fights or throwing fights. All my fights in boxing were tough. Except for one kid I beat up real fast. So I had one easy match where I beat a kid up in like a minute. And I actually have that video. I can actually show you guys me beating up a kid when I was a kid, if you guys want to watch. So there was one fight where like a kid came in unprepared, and I basically, had more experience, and it was not close at all. So I beat a kid up really bad as far as kids fighting goes. And then my other fights were way tough. Like I had a couple matches that, like, god damn, you just had to keep throwing punches the entire 3 rounds. It wasn't like a TV match where you dance and go and hug. No, real amateur fights at the amateur level with dudes who are trying to win is like non-stop punching. I swear. At the level where I fought, stamina was what you needed most. You didn't need power. You needed stamina. Stamina to last 3 rounds. Non-stop punching. So at the end of my fights that went a full 3 rounds, I always felt like I was going to puke. I was always so tired. And in the times where I did lose, I lost a decision fight to a kid from Vegas. And God, I fought my ass off and just barely lost a close decision. It bothered me for years. Still bothers me. Tom says, I have a coworker that played for the Tampa Bay Bucks in '99, says it's rigged as fuck. He also played for Notre Dame and said it's also rigged as fuck. What's his name? Give us the name, bro. Good night, Andy. Thanks for showing up. Marijuana community with a donation says, miss you, man. Well, I never went anywhere. So I don't know why you miss me. Maybe you just haven't watched me in a while. Maybe that's it. But I'm here, man. I try to do a stream like at least once a week and keep posting at least a video every week. And I've been trying to put out some more short videos to keep, traction with the channel. It seems like if I don't post something every week, they just steal my subs and down throttle the channel. So it's like YouTube basically forces me to keep doing something. Otherwise, they steal my subs and make it to where none of my videos even do that good. So I pretty much have to keep posting something almost daily in order to keep traction coming in on this channel when it's not football season. Tom says John McLaughlin from San Fran. The name doesn't ring a bell, but then again, that was a long ass time ago. So if it wasn't a superstar player, then of course I won't remember. But the smoking gun proof for player admissions is a former Buccaneer, Dwight Smith. So Dwight Smith was a what the hell was he? A defensive player. I forget the exact position he played off the top of my head. Defensive. He was like linebacker or a cornerback for the Bucks, and he had 2 pick sixes in the same game in the Super Bowl. And he came out and said it's entertainment, and the outcomes aren't decided on the field. That's the number one player admission. All the other player admissions are nowhere near as good. He's a safety. That's right. Another guy says defensive end. He was either a defensive end, a safety, a linebacker, or a corner. One of those. All right. Let me see if I can go back and dig up my old boxing match. I posted it on my backup channel. I haven't watched it in a long time. And I'm sure a lot of you guys haven't seen it. Let me see if I can go dig it back up. All right, found it. Okay, you guys are about to take a trip back to the early 90s, 1993. Yours truly. I was like 9 years old. I'll be taking on Caden Mitchell in this matchup, a local kid in Utah.
Yes, I do. I've got an amateur boxing match from the year 1992. It's your favorite little asshole, Jake Gibson, taking on a local hooligan known as Caden Mitchell. Are you ready, fight fans, for the fight of a century? Oh, you better get ready to rumble.
All right, so there I am in the pink, fuchsia, maroon, purple, whatever the hell you want to call it, shirt. It's very manly, of course. And I'm taking on this kid, Caden, here. He's got the blue shirt. And here we go. Ding, ding. The fight is on. Are you ready, folks? Don't blink. It's over fast. Ooh, boy. And at this point, the ref gave Caden a standing 8 count. But the problem was for Caden, he couldn't stop crying and he didn't want to continue. So that was the end of the fight. That was it, folks. I spent the summer training so that I could get in there for 15 seconds, punch the kid a few times, then he starts crying. So here I am. I smile. I say, I want to fight more. I wanted to fight.
Oh, there you have it. See, I hit that kid like, I don't know, 4 or 5 times or whatever. And then he started crying. That was the end of the fight. So there I am after the fight. And I'm like, I wanted to fight more. Drew Bones says thoughts on Black Hole Sun music video. Perhaps they're talking about the fact that that the sun eclipses itself, or a black hole sun eclipses the sun. Perhaps that's what they are referring to. So I've often wondered if that has a deeper meaning, Black Hole Sun, that song, and if what we're seeing eclipse the sun and moon is like a black disk of sorts that we can't see until it goes in front of the moon and sun. Or perhaps the moon and sun just do that. They just eclipse themselves. Maybe it's just like a resetting thing that they do. I don't know. So I can't say for sure if the black hole sun is real, but I don't buy the mainstream media story that the moon goes in front of the sun. So I'm more inclined to believe in a black hole sun than I am to believe the official story that the moon goes in front of the sun, or that the Earth's shadow goes on the moon during a lunar eclipse. I don't believe that either.
Fight more. But I was pretty happy that I won. Now, let's go ahead and watch it again, because, of course, I'm sure you guys want to take another closer look at the action, at the technical knockout, of course. All right, as you can see, I come out swinging, back him up right out of the gate, and I tag him right there with a nice right. Bam, that left right there was the fight ender. At that point, he didn't want any more of it, making me the official winner at 15 seconds into the first round. All right, now let's go ahead and check out the slow-mo replay. Ooh, starting out with a nice jab, right, left, right combo. Ooh, backed him up right out of the gate. So he knows I mean business at this point. And he starts to circle away. I come right over the top. Boom, right hand. At this point, he knows he's in some serious trouble. So he comes in the front door one more time. I hit him with this combo, ending with this left hook. Boom. That's the punch where he starts crying. I walk up, tag him a couple more times. Ref steps in. And at this point, he starts crying unconsolably. And I knew that my day was pretty much done at that point. All right, let's go to the super slow-mo. Ooh, look at that devastating left hook. Oh. Now, after the fight, for the kids who are 9 years old and under, they throw money into the ring. The spectators who come to watch the boxing match throw their pocket change into the ring. And then all of us kid boxers, we go in there and we gather up all of the pocket change and we put it into a bucket. And then we would split up the pocket change and we would all make money for fighting that night. Isn't that awesome that children boxers were actually paid to fight? I made, if I remember correctly, about $15 that night. And I only fought for about 15 seconds. So I made like $1 a second. Not bad for a 9-year-old child boxer, huh? And look at that mullet. Holy shit. Is that not the sexiest mullet you've ever seen on a child? Look at that. I got candy hanging out of my mouth, and picking up a bunch of pocket change and dumping it in a bucket after I knock someone out.
All right, y'all. That is what you call a serious mullet. Back in 1992, if you had a mullet like this, everybody knew you were a badass kid. Look at this. Look at those stairs on my head. Look at that mullet. Man, that was back in, if you didn't have a mullet back then you were not cool. But if you had a mullet like this type of mullet right here would make like Billy Ray Cyrus jealous. This mullet right here would make Vanilla Ice jealous. Like, I had the coolest mullet in school, man. Oh, man. I was getting so many chicks back in 1992 with that mullet. Man, I was beating them off with a stick.
All right, come on. That's the greatest mullet you've ever seen on a child. But seriously, back in 92, 93, dude, that haircut made you a bad motherfucker. That literally was the coolest thing you could do to yourself. I swear to God, nobody thought that that looked stupid back then. It was the opposite. People were like, dude, that haircut is dudical, bro. I want to get my haircut like that too, so I can look cool like you. All right. Oh, this guy's going to give me shit over my incorrect Super Bowl prediction and basically act like because I got that wrong, then that means Tyson's going to win. Do whatever the hell you want. I don't give a shit. Tom says, I had a rat tail mullet with steps. Dude, back then, like, you had to have a cool haircut like that. Otherwise, like, you were lame. You were some nerd or something. Drew Bone says, I have never heard that perspective before. How about all of the stretched out faces and cicadas, the people being sucked into the sun? Mullet 10 out of 10. Oh, you're talking about in the video. Yeah, as far as people being sucked into the black hole sun, I think that's just to make the video entertaining and then to push the bullshit about black holes sucking stuff in. But I think the real reference is the black hole disk that could possibly be eclipsing the sun and the moon. Thanks, Drew. I appreciate the donation. Davey D. LaFleur says, you hearing about this new syndrome, demon face syndrome? I haven't heard anything about it. Not that I know of. Yes, the saying with the mullet was business up front, party in the rear, party in the back. Yeah. Lux asks if I think Joe Rogan and Theo are industry plants. 100%. Joe Rogan, okay, here is the smoking gun proof. Joe Rogan used to say that the moon landings were faked. And then he had Neil deGrasse Tyson come on his show and cuck him out in person. And then he fucking took back what he said and changed his mind and said he thinks the moon landings are real and he was just being retarded. I've never met a person in my life ever who said the moon landings were fake and then changed their mind and went back to thinking they're real. Never, ever. So the fact that Joe Rogan is that one guy, and it took having Neil deGrasse come on his show and cuck him out in person, smoking gun proof, Joe Rogan is an industry plant. not even allowed to have the opinion that the moon landing's fake. He's too influential. So they had to have Neil deGrasse cuck him out and make him admit he's retarded and doesn't know. Yes, he was convinced by Neil deGrasse's magical scientific eyebrows. Well, one of the greatest things about being an astrophysicist is knowing that there's so much that you don't know. And in order to know what you don't know, you need to ask questions, such as what you don't know. I like how like Neil deGrasse will start cracking up over something that he said that's not funny. Scientists know that what we don't know is really what's intriguing. Because if we really knew what we thought we'd know, there wouldn't be any reason for science. Like, dude, that wasn't funny. So you'll see Neil deGrasse crack himself up just saying something that doesn't have any sort of humor. I think with a little work, I could probably get Neil deGrasse down a little better. If you were being sucked into a black hole, at first you would find it to be stimulating. You would actually find this to be pleasing because it would be stretching your bones and muscles, so at first it would feel nice. However, this would increasingly start to become uncomfortable as you get sucked into the black hole. Okay. Kelly Yamaguchi says, I did karate back when I was 9. Jake, still am, just training on kickboxing, Muay Thai. See, karate, when I was like a little kid, I thought I wanted to take karate. And then once I went and saw boxing live, like my dad took me as a kid to watch boxing live at a fair. So the fight where you saw me fighting, I went and watched that the year before as just a spectator. And I told my dad that I want to do that. And he's like, okay. So then the very next year, I trained out of this boxing club that he just found in like the phone book, and then fought at that same fair at the fights that I'd watched the year before. So once I learned that like boxing's one of those things that like throwing punches, like being able to throw a good correct punch, correct form is going to come in handy. And then a lot of the stuff that I thought would be useful, like karate kicks and stuff, aren't quite as useful in a fight. So I learned the stuff being taught in a karate class, for the most part, isn't as helpful in an actual street fight as boxing and amateur wrestling. I would argue that amateur wrestling and boxing is the superior fighting arts to karate, because especially back in the day, they didn't train the karate guys to wrestle. They didn't train the karate guys to escape submissions. They didn't train the karate guys to deal with a lot of these attacks that you see nowadays. So way back then, when we were 9 years old and shit, or when I was 9 years old, there wasn't a UFC yet. The UFC wasn't a thing yet. And so different styles of fighting were still being compared. You know, people were like, oh, Bruce Lee could beat up Mike Tyson. Nuh-uh. No, he couldn't. Yes, he could. So people were still comparing different forms of fighting back then, but we didn't know what form of fighting would really actually win or would work, you know? We didn't find out what actually works in a fight until UFC 1 you saw Gracie submitting a bunch of dudes who didn't look like they had a clue of what they were doing. I 100% agree that Bruce Lee is a fictitious movie fighter, and he couldn't kick any real fighter's ass. And if he was around today against a fully trained mixed martial arts fighter, he would get destroyed. So a guy his same size, who knows Brazilian jiu-jitsu and some submissions and stuff, I think he would take Bruce Lee down and submit him quick and like one round easily. So I don't believe in the fictitious fighting background of Bruce Lee at all. And in fact, I actually have a video about how Bruce Lee was a fraud too. So that's a year ago, I made a video about that. Holden says, I'm back from dinner. What did I miss? The entire stream. I'm going to be wrapping up here in a few minutes, so you'll want to go back and rewatch. So yeah, I started with Puff Daddy or P.Diddy or Diddy, or as he's going to be known in the future, D. Yeah, we talked about D and his sex crime allegations and all that stuff. And I gave my opinion on what I think's really going on there. And then I talked about the eclipse a little bit, gave a demonstration of what the globe Earth model says is happening with the eclipse and why I think that's stupid. And then I talked about Owen Benjamin being on Infowars, and I showed a clip of Owen Benjamin hanging out, kissing Alex Jones' ass. And then for the last half hour or so, we've just been doing open chat. Scott Goriup says Neil deGrasse and Stephen Hawking talking about black holes and tatas for the win. Yeah, I put out a short video talking about how, you know, if we're supposedly shooting through space at like 500,000 miles an hour, right? Like the sun, they say, shoots through space at these unfathomable speeds. And then you see the same exact constellations in the same spots year after year, same shape. They don't change shape. We don't ever see any new stars. We don't leave any stars behind to see any new stars. And so when I made a short about that, I had some science cucks say shit like, all the stars are moving relative with us in the same direction. It's like, that doesn't make any sense. But to a science cuck, they think they totally explained it. It's like, oh yeah, okay, so the stars I see that way, we're moving with them. And the stars I see that way, we're moving with them too. So we're moving in that direction and that direction at the same time. Okay. And then they brought up we're moving towards a gigantic black hole at the center of the galaxy. Don't you know that? So the science cucks who attack me will say things like, you idiot. Don't you know everything's being sucked into a massive black hole that's at the center of the galaxy, the center of the universe? Don't you know that? And it's like, you can't prove that. There's nothing you can do to verify that there's a black hole sucking anything into it. You can't look up in the sky and see a black hole sucking stars and shit into it. Can you? No, you can't. So the whole concept of a black hole is just fucking made up. But science cucks will be like, are you stupid or something? The whole galaxy revolves around a massive black hole. Don't you know? So it always comes back to, is that something that can be totally made up? If the answer is yes, then you throw it out. So as far as black holes go, What can you do to prove a black hole exists? Nothing. You have to like take NASA's word for it. Lux, what I like about your comment is that it reminds me of a joke that I told a long time ago. And I got to try and remember how it goes. But anyway, you said, we can't even cure diabetes. How are we going to figure out what's in the middle of the galaxy? So check this out. I made a joke about diabetes. Let me try and remember it. Oh yeah, something like this. So I got told by a doctor that I might have pre-diabetes. I might have pre-diabetes? Are you telling me I can get diabetes before I have diabetes? Fuck, man, I better start making changes in my life. I better change my diet so that I don't get pre-diabetes. Otherwise, I might end up with actual real diabetes, which would suck twice as worse as pre-diabetes. So now I got to be afraid of getting the pre-version of the real thing. I mean, real diabetes must suck ass. So I don't even want to mess around with any pre-diabetes. So I better get my act together. I don't want to end up dying from pre-diabetes. Oh, did you hear about Jim? What happened to Jim? He died. How did Jim die? He seemed healthy. He got pre-diabetes. You're telling me Jim died of pre-diabetes? Yeah, isn't it sad? He didn't even get to die of the real thing. He died of pre-diabetes. Didn't even get to live long enough to catch actual diabetes. See, pre-diabetes. Come on. Tell me that's not a good joke, pre-diabetes. Oh, fuck, man. I don't want to die of pre-diabetes. I'd rather get the actual real thing. Right? That's like pre-AIDS, right? Oh, you get the AIDS virus before you get the actual full-blown AIDS. So it's like you can get pre-AIDS. You better watch out. You better wear a rubber if you're planning on having sex in the rear. Otherwise, you might get pre-AIDS, which could lead to actual AIDS. Yeah, I'm gonna get a pre-cold, a cold before I get a cold. All right, Tom says, thanks, Jake. Good night, buddy. Thanks, Tom. Good night. And I think that's probably a good time to shut her down. I've been on here almost 3.5 hours, so I should probably go ahead and call it a night. You guys have a wonderful weekend, and I will catch you guys next time I do a stream or make a video or whatever. So you guys have a wonderful night. Thank you all for being here. Thank you all who donated. Thank you guys for all the comments. I'm going to go back and rewatch the stream, and I'm going to read every single comment. So even if I didn't read your comment live, I will go back and read it. I always read all of them. So thank you guys for being here, and I'll catch you next time. Hit the like button if you haven't already, and I'll see you later. Peace.